God, you need a different background. But actually, that's better than the flaming dog. That's everything's fine. So leave that.
The
I'd rather
best
just see your
background I could
washer and
have.
yeah.
I think you should somehow render the flaming dog with my face.
I hate the flaming dog. It's so
We could do that.
distracting.
It's just me sitting there. Are you just pumping up your chair there, Nate?
No, I was pumping my desk down.
Pump up the jam, pump it
Because
up.
Wouldn't that be like releasing, not pumping?
Oh yeah.
It's a it's not
I
hydraulic.
mean, I'll pump you down, Nate, but I don't know if your table will.
Well, I'm glad we have that.
My back is fucking killing me, so if I start making weird faces, just know that it's my back spasming.
Cranking your hog in the middle
Cranking my hog. That's why I wore this hat. I never wear a hat to the podcast, and I was like, I want to look like a guy that cranks his hog on a podcast.
That's.
I mean,
I've always said that. I'll never stop saying that.
It's hard to crank your hog against tall grass.
Yeah, brother. Let me tell you.
I'm doing the intro. Nate, can you do the intro?
That would actually. Well, I mean, he's the guy. I think
I do. Every time I'm on the show, I do the intro, and it stresses me out.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, we'll do it for 50 times every other week. Dick.
Yeah, well, I stress out because I'm not prepared to do it because I get on and you guys like, oh, you're doing the intro, and I'm like,
I literally
You've done it. You've done it. For
I just read the same.
You've done it for 50 episodes.
I literally
prepared.
just read.
You know what you're doing. I am literally not a professional.
Where
got it, Keith.
I changed my Siri voice to an Australian lady. And it's so funny just how nonchalant and uncaring Siri is when she's Australian. And it's just so fun. Like it was like, don't send this. And Siri just goes, okay. I was like, God, that's so, it just doesn't care. And Morgan's like, is it doing it for you? I'm like, shut up, Morgan.
Hong Kong! Hong Kong!
Welcome to episode 100. That's right, the big 100 of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast, the extravagant podcast for crew, by crew, mocked by crew, and occasionally attended by a couple members of crew, one of which is Big Keith.
Howdy, howdy.
And this stranger to the podcast, Big Nate.
What's up, guys?
Okay, so Big Nate this week is apparently
Macho Man?
No, I was gonna go with Escape from LA, whatever that guy's name was.
Oh, Snake Plissken.
Snake Plissken, yeah. Just
What'd you say there?
Yeah, or you're in an episode of Yellowstone because everybody just talks like it and whispers.
I think I might do this the whole episode.
Yeah,
it's a new character I'm trying out.
Please don't. We'll get somebody else on the podcast.
Ohio is the Midwest and the South.
This is our land.
In Ohio, we call this unpaid and underrated.
Oh, okay. Keith is gonna hate this episode. All right,
it'll be all right.
Let's kick this off again. We can kind of skip what are you drinking unless anybody's got anything real cool they want to show off.
Nope.
Joey, I got something great right here. I got.
I'm gonna close this laptop if you keep this up for more than like 90 seconds.
I got this. I can't stop. I cannot do it. I'm stuck in whatever this is.
My mom said if I did this voice too much, that I would stay like this.
Yeah, my brother. I did the voice. My brother hit me on the side of the head, and I've been stuck like this forever. No, I got a sparkling water that's unimportant that I think I was drinking last time. I'm very excited, but I was hoping I could open it in front of you guys. And maybe if I would talk while I'm doing it. Oh, yeah, that definitely picked it up, right?
Yep,
crispy
I got
crack.
That's how you do it. That's a professional move right there.
It's like
in
a
the
fart in a
Massonomics
microphone.
lifting department, koozie that you can't really see unless I hold it right in front of my face. But I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited for you. I will drink some water and a Keith's as usual. Anybody wearing anything cool? I'm not.
We were matching earlier when I logged in, but you took your hat. I guess it makes sense you took your hat off because you can't really wear a hat with headphones. But
Well, also
so
that hat is like half a size too small. So I don't know if you saw, I was like
Gives you a
rubbing the
line.
lines off of my head.
I am wearing something so cool for the silence there. That was me standing up to show Joey and Keith. This is in honor of Big Dan a few weeks ago, and my questions being improperly communicated.
I like Dan's response. I thought it was about that, but there was no way Keith would ask me about that.
Yeah, it was very funny.
It's not. That's weird that's why he didn't answer. That's funny though.
But yeah, out of context, without being like these questions are about Wolfpack, it would be very hard to be like who, what. But to answer the question, I am wearing a Wolfpack T-shirt. I picked this up when I saw them play in Brooklyn. They're doing their little 4-day stint there, 5-day, 3-day. I don't remember. It was like a lot of shows in Brooklyn, in a warehouse district, in a warehouse thing where a lot of people apparently had been recently murdered, and we didn't know that before we went to the show. So
is that where you had your house coat on and we're ranting about things?
Yeah, that was the show that I wore my my robe around New York City. Yeah.
What's the deal with?
I genuinely thought when you stood up it said vulva, and I was so confused as to why you would wear that. Yeah, I know that now.
It's in their custom. They have a custom font you can buy. Wolf Space. I think this is their mono.
I got through half of that word and was like, no way. And then, not gonna lie, you had me in the first half.
Yeah, you just gotta read. See, you guys just don't know Wolfpack. That's what I'm wearing.
I do not. I couldn't have seen it if I wanted to because you're about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches on my computer screen.
You just make his thing smaller.
Easy.
Ow.
You just hover over about half a centimeter to the thing.
Centimeters.
Sorry. You just drag the line and make it smaller. I've got you guys big and Nate's thing as small as it can be.
I don't know.
That's what she said, I guess.
I don't have a button for that.
I don't either.
I guess I got myself.
I don't have an Apple device, so I don't think it's a PC.
It's a Zoom thing.
Bruh.
I got that.
All right. Should we rate last week's episode, or should we get into like small talk?
Either or. I don't have a. Last week's episode was the Rogue rep controversy. They talked about that a good bit. There was definitely some factual things. I was like, I don't know if that's how it went down, or like the differences are this, because they were like, I remember specifically Tommy was like, well, it's just they've already had a thing and they just put a hole in it. And I'm like, well, no, because the thing they had weighed like 15 pounds and the thing that they came out with weighed like 5 pounds, and that was Cleva's whole thing, was having aluminum lightweight, like the lightest weight attachments on the market. Like that was their big thing. And then so Rogue kind of literally copying that verbatim more or less was, kind of what got the uproar. Not just the overall design, but like the fact that it was lightweight. I still get that that's not like necessarily patentable, but that was where more of the issue I feel came from.
I think you can patent lightweight, or else we'd still have our favorite shirts.
Well done.
There it is.
I think the thing I like the most is they had like the whole intensity in the gym conversation, and how like you kind of don't know what you're missing until you kind of get it again, of like just like, getting that amped up intensity and kind of like being able to throttle it up and down as needed. So I kind of enjoyed that, because I definitely like, utilize intensity as needed, kind of on how heavy of a lift I need to do or how shitty of a day I had. And there's definitely times you feel like you're pumping yourself up even harder on days you don't really need to, but just because the day was so shitty. So glad to not be alone in that. So I would go ahead and give it 5 out of 5 patents.
Nate, what do you got?
With that, also, that episode contained the "We Used to Be a Proper Country" segment.
Correct. I have things to say about that.
And that was I'll let Joey talk on it. But so yeah, it was pretty good. They talked about some other stuff on the episode.
Mm-hmm. Were there stuff and things, Nate?
There were things. There was stuff.
Yep.
So all around, every time they talk about those stuff and things, I get very excited. I enjoy it so much. It becomes one of my favorite episodes. Everyone knows it's the best episode. I've listened. I did listen. It's been a long week, okay? Okay? It's been a very long week.
I've already
That
listened
was
to
Monday.
like 90% of their other podcasts last night, so it's like I don't remember shit from last week.
That was Monday. Today is Thursday. So much has happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have stories.
So we're on the other side of it, and I loved it. It was the best podcast I've ever had. I'd give it 5 out of 5. We used to be a proper countries.
How do you have a podcast? I mean, we have a podcast, but did you have their podcast?
What?
You said it was the best podcast you ever had.
Yeah, like I consumed.
Nah, I like
Mhm.
Like
consuming
you
them,
know
so.
how you have chicken parm. I had chicken parm. You might say that. I had a podcast. I had a podcast for breakfast that morning.
I don't. Is that? I don't think that's a. I mean, we'll have to take that to the Instagram. See if people say that.
I just said it. What do you mean? Do people say that? Am I not a person, Keith?
Well,
No, you're
that's yet to
literally
be
fucking
defined.
not.
Don't tell me I'm not a person.
I mean, I already said I couldn't see you on the screen. We all know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, the we used to be a proper country thing. I was just dying because I like when Tanner said maybe we used to be a proper country is how things are better now. Because they would go off about how good those things were and then be like, oh, I love paying with cash. It's so easy, it's so simple, but I'm never gonna do it. Right? And then they went off about how like tactile photos were so better and we could do it, but I'm literally never gonna do that. I just like my phone. Like it's so funny that they it was just such a good like elevation and then dropped to be like, but I'm never gonna do that. That's ridiculous. So I really enjoyed that aspect. There was one other thing that had me going. Tommy explaining what Libras were.
The pounds, yeah.
And it's so funny because I'm driving and Tommy goes, do you know what LB stands for? And I'm like, it's Libras. Like I'm talking to Tommy as I'm listening to the podcast in my car. But it's because sometimes like I will order a Libra of wings because I found out what that means. I looked it up because I was just curious, like what's an LBS? Right. So I would order a Libra of wings, or when I was emceeing the event, I would say they're lifting, 400 Libras or whatever. And people do look at you right confused. But you can say anything. You say pounds. If you say kilos, and the Canadians are like, oh, yeah, okay, maybe. You say pounds, and like, oh, yeah, okay, maybe. You say anything else, and they're just like, what are you talking about? So, yeah,
Rightfully
we're going to.
so.
Correct. I was
When I
saying.
say they lifted 300 chicken wings, everyone looked at me weird. It was like, why would they do that?
Fucking dummies. We used to be a proper country.
We used to be a proper country where weight didn't matter and you could just say anything you wanted as a unit of measurement.
No, that's your country. We things will make sense by tens, right? No,
Yeah.
12 and a halves.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give last week's episode 5 out of 5 Libras.
It's,
Keith, how'd you do at your powerlifting meet?
I had literally the shortest prep ever. Literally didn't even know if I was gonna do the meet until like the week of, just because I was like, I don't know, if I'm not feeling good, I'm not gonna do it. And I didn't buy my USAPL membership until Thursday, I think, because I had a really good last week of training. Meet went great. Those USAPL meets kind of stink because there's an afternoon session. So like I had to be there at 1 to, do the 2 hour weigh-in and lift at 3. So it's just like the whole morning I'm just like, I want to go to the meet. I want to be done. Like I want to be home already. So I kind of like, I wake up at like 6, 7 o'clock every, on the weekends, no matter what. So it's just like I had an entire day before I could even go to the meet. Meet went great though. Had some buddies there, had my coach there. Hit a squat PR, just came under my bench, and then matched my deadlift bar PR on a stiff bar, and probably had 10 or 20 pounds. Actually, watching by the video back, like I probably had 30 more pounds in me. But it was still like the second most. That was the most I've ever pulled, and I pulled it on the stiff bar, so I can't be upset with that. But the squat, I think, was the highlight of my day. So burying 424 or whatever. Never attempted anything within 5 pounds of that, or 4.5 pounds, whatever. So that was great. Total PR by like, whatever, like this basically, I mean, I think it ended up being like, there couldn't have been a smaller jump on the total PR. It went from like a 1057 to a 1064 or something. So maybe actually it might have been like an 8-pound PR. So maybe that was two.
Very good.
So yeah, all in all, great day, great meet. I enjoyed this week of just chillaxing. I don't know, haven't seen my new program yet from my coach, but we should be starting Lift Hard, Live Easy, Strongman Prep. Basically, I think we're 15, 16 weeks out. So probably just did dick around doing some off-season stuff, and then full tilt for powerlifting this summer, or strongman, that is.
All right, very good. Nine lights.
Yeah, always. If I miss a lift, it's fuck. I think in my entire powerlifting career, there was only one time I got a 2-to-1 lift, and that's because the side judge was a prick, and like he was like an tort. Like everyone that knows him knows he's a prick. And I still didn't agree with whatever the fuck he called it on. But outside of that one time, I've either completely missed a lift because I got buried or stapled by the bar, or it was white lights, 3 white lights. So yeah, white lights all day long on that in
Yeah,
particular
buddy.
meet. It was
Yeah,
funny.
buddy.
It was funny. Tommy on last night's recording, Tommy was like, he almost like during supporting your member, so yeah, supporting your member, he interrupted Tanner and was like, they circled back to me basically. I was like, so what federation was Keith competing in? Because he's been doing strongman for a year, and then all of a sudden he hits all these PRs in powerlifting, and so he was alluding to me being on steroids. So I got a joke out. I enjoyed that, and then Big Jake Heinrich. Well, so I think someone said I was on juice, or I think I said I was on juice, like jokingly in the Discord, and then Jake was like, "Yeah, orange juice."
Hey.
Hey, bring it on home.
Yeah, so that was good. That was my weekend.
We got a couple Massonomics things to talk about. Then I got a couple grinds my knurling off my Texas Power Bar things to talk about.
Mm.
You want to do those first, or you want to do Massonomic stuff?
Let's do one of each, so it's not repetitive. Let's alternate. I think so. Do one, and then we'll do the drop, and then we'll do another one, and then we'll do the bar. I think that's fair.
All right.
So hard to follow.
So we got a ton of weather up here. It's the only way to describe it. By 12 noon, we were covered in inches of snow, and then it turned into freezing rain, and then it turned into warm regular rain, and this was all within 8 hours. So naturally, there's flooding everywhere, but my basement actually started to flood. Not like flood to the extent of full damages, but my gym is pretty wet. So yeah, we're likely we're gonna have to clean my stall mats or get rid of them and get new ones because there's just water under them. We protected all the equipment. Just a little track of how that day went. Started the day at the doctor. Morgan got nauseous and threw up all over my car.
Nice.
Yep. Got home. I threw my back out shoveling snow. And for me to do that, you got to know I was just horsecocking snow around like an idiot. Like I was not protecting myself at all. I'm still feeling that today. And then that happened. So I couldn't even like help in the gym because every time I went to move something, I would just fall over in pain. So guess who? And she wanted me to say this, horsecocked my weights up the stairs.
Good for her.
Oh yeah.
Morgan.
Yeah. I was doing bedtime and I hear thump, thump. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And it's her carrying my Nukshook 110-pound sandbag up the stairs one by one. She's like, I don't want it to get water damaged. And I was like, oh, honey. Smart. But I couldn't do it. Like I felt so useless. So she was like, go do bedtime and put the kids down and everything.
Dude, I'd honestly rather like throw around a sandbag than do bedtime if my back hurts because I feel like I can get myself in a position to be like not in pain just moving a sandbag because there's no resistance. When I put kids to bed, it's like I have to pick them up and I get no choice as to how I'm picking them up. It's like there's no safe space for my back.
That's a wiggly sandbag.
Yeah, it's just like I can't. Yeah, if I've thrown my back out, doing things with the kids I find so substantially more difficult than like I'd pick a sandbag up. I can do that without. I know exactly what plane of motion I can move. Yeah.
And then our shop vac went in the middle of shop vacuuming the water out of the thing. Because of course, and it's 9 p.m. at night, so I can't just go and get another one.
You didn't go to the shop vac store?
Yeah, in the shop vac district? No, they were closed. Yeah.
Shop vac shop, Nate. You missed it. You missed the opportunity, bud.
Got it.
So I do want to circle back briefly just to give Morgan her flowers a little more. So she literally vomited that morning and then shoveled the entire driveway and then moved all your weights.
Oh, the deck.
While being sick.
She was feeling better by then.
Okay.
Yeah, because what did it was obviously
kidding.
Yeah, she blamed the barometric pressure and then having like blood removed and stuff like that because we both got blood work done yesterday. And then, so as I'm going out today, we go out in the morning. I was like, right off the bat, we need a shop vac. We need some sealant for the walls. we come home and I go to the bathroom and my son had ripped the fucking toilet seat off. So now I'm back to Home Depot to buy a new toilet seat and install that before he gets home from school.
Who are you, Big Matt?
Oh, it was 2 trips in one day. So it's been a great couple of days.
I do have a toilet seat question now. So like
Yeah.
as someone with kids, like so I put a slow close lid in like 5 years ago and it's been the
Me
best
too.
thing ever.
Yeah,
Okay, so I hope you
when we were
replaced it
buying a
with
new one,
slow
she's like,
close.
that one's cheap, and I was like, it's not a slow close. I don't care.
No, you want the slow close. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gotta
no,
have
so-
slow close.
you really do.
I went into the
You really do.
washroom after one of my morning calls, and when I went to lift the seat, it fell off. And what he had done, I remembered later, is when he lifted the seat, he did it with such force, he broke the hinge.
He horsecocked it up.
He horsecocked we won't tell him
Yeah.
that. No one him going to school saying that phrase.
No.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Oren, like we're driving. I was like, Oren, did you do that? And then he's like, well, I had to be strong. And I was like, you don't need to be strong on the toilet lid, dude.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
tell him.
But I told him next time he does this, it's coming out of his new iPad fund.
There you
I'm
go.
not doing this again. Oh, what a nightmare it's been a couple days. So yeah, my training is on hold until my gym is put back together, essentially.
Yeah.
I might have to go to World Gym across the street from my work for a month or so.
Dang.
Hopefully that gets sorted out and nothing got too bad and hopefully the ground dries out.
The equipment is fine. The mats are probably the big problem, and I can't lift in the basement without them.
Yeah, so I've had like do you have the actual stall mats or do you have the clip together? What do you have?
I have clipped together 2/3 inches.
That'll be easy though,
mats.
because you can literally just take those outside then and just hose them off and bleach them and
Yeah.
Well, so you don't even need to because like I've had instances where I've had like my entire fucking sewer back up and I've got like shit water, brown water, black water, whatever you want to call it, like in like a 6-foot radius, underneath the mats, and then I gotta like take those out and bleach them and shit. So you shouldn't have it that bad.
Yeah, that's
But
the goal.
You just got to get them. You just got to get them outside, airing out, and then because you might be getting water in the basement for a while because the walls are wet right now. I can't imagine just throwing.
Oh,
like,
we
it's
put
not going to take.
we put hydraulic cement on them.
So you actually had holes that needed filled. Okay.
Yeah, it's my dad has been like, oh yeah, we'll get that done, and he's been saying that for 2 years. So every time I go and clean the walls to get ready for, now we're gonna put the sealant on, right? And he's like, oh yeah. And then like 6 months later, he's like, well, the wall's got to be cleaned, and I'm like, I just fucking did that for 2 days straight. So now it just got to the point where we just went and put just this cement that automatically adheres to the wetness, and it just.
I've used hydraulic cement. It's pretty nifty. So the new drop came and went.
Well, on the back of that story, though, I had a similar problem this week in my gym. I had a catastrophe as well.
Oh, you did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if I'm allowed to get into this, but Big Ryan was coming through Ohio. I'm convinced he lives here now.
He just hasn't told anybody yet.
Yeah, he's been here on an incredibly frequent basis.
He literally never left from the Arnold, right? He showed up
Yeah,
at the
I don't
Arnold on
think he
Saturday
has,
night
'cause-
and then never left.
Yeah, and then he drove up to Canton, and then he said he flew back home after that. And then he was back in Canton.
Yeah,
Um,
sure you did, Ryan.
But Ryan texted me like Sunday or something and was like, "Hey, I'm going to be in town this week. I think I'll have a few minutes on Tuesday night if I could swing by and see the gym." And I was like, "Oh yeah, come through." And he went back and forth, and his flights got moved, and we weren't going to make it. And then he finally made it. And I, I'm like, all right, come on out, come check out the compound. So we walk to the back. I open up the garage door, like the man door, and just an entire drywall panel had fallen out of the ceiling.
Ryan.
And all I can say is it's his fault because it wasn't
Absolutely.
like that this morning. He showed up at my house, and next thing I know, there's a hole in my ceiling. So I guess pictures to come of that on somewhere. But yeah, thanks Ryan for ruining my house. But other than that, it was a pleasant visit. Really enjoyed the time together. And I saw him off to other parts of Ohio. So yeah, thanks a lot, Ryan. It was great seeing you. So speaking of the other drop this week,
Yeah, speaking of that and Matt's, yeah, we really did that. We combined
Yep.
all of those.
Good. So yeah, that happened. What was that 2 days ago? 9:30 EST, I think. It
It's
came and went
10:30
before.
EST because I was driving.
Was
I
it?
got in my car at like
Oh
quarter
yeah,
after,
you're right. It was
thinking I had
9:30 for
until
them.
11:30.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. So the 2 inch by 2 inch, or no, 4 inch by 4 inch horse stall mats that they had laser cut into perfect little squares, and then got a logo embossed on them with the Massonomics logo, and like horse. There's a whole like funny bit with it. So those went out, and I don't think anyone. I don't think any of us got them because they were sold out before I even saw it. I think they are going to do a round two, so we'll stay tuned on that. But they seem to be a popular item. I can't think if someone did the math or not, because it sounded like it was just one mat. So one mat, however many. I don't know if it ended up being 50 units or 25 units, or I couldn't imagine it's because it was two in a pack. So I'm not big math there with what's the square footage of a 4x6 mat divided in 4x4 perfect squares. I don't know, but it's cool they sold out. Tanner said it was a whole lot of work for him, so I'm surprised they're so eager to if they're eager to actually get another one, because it sounds like he had to like hand wash every single one after the fact before they could drop it off to get the logo put on. But I mean, crew ate it up, so everyone's really enjoying the horse stall mat content.
Dude, it was I was in a meeting the other time, and I was like, while it was happening, I knew it was happening that day, and I got out of my meeting at like noon my time, lunchtime. I walk upstairs to go make lunch, and I check my phone, and I just see that Joey and Keith had sent a bunch of text messages back and forth about the drop. And I was like, isn't that at 4 o'clock tonight?
Oh
Uh,
no.
and I was like, daggone it. That was at 10:30. I've officially missed all of the merchandise. Like, I was so upset. But there's always next time. There's always next time. I completely missed that one. Was not ready.
I
Unprepared Nathan.
I was driving because my thing said 10:30. So in my head, their 10:30 is my 11:30. I'll get to
No,
work,
yeah,
excuse
no.
myself for 15 minutes.
Zoom does it right, or Discord
Yeah,
tells you your
Discord
time.
adjust. Yeah, so I biffed it, but that's okay. Math is hard.
I just
Uh,
don't read, so
well, obviously 4 p.m.
yeah. No, well, I just saw drop, and I was like, there is it. Something can't drop except for at this same time they drop everything all of the time. It doesn't make any sense. So
Well, I mean,
Would you say it does not compute?
I would say
change. No, can't have change.
that's what I would say.
That's a good clip. I remember that one.
We could probably get through the next one pretty quick. The YouTube video for Tsunami Bar. I didn't watch it. Obviously, like you guys heard what I've been through the past 2 days. I'm not watching anything.
Dude, I can't keep track of at this point. What is a Massonomics video and what is a Jujimufu video, and which one is shot and produced and which one is hosted where? I don't know who's making videos at this point. It is a content farm that I cannot consume enough of it.
I think this was the first Massonomics one was today. Everything else, but what was weird is like I think Tanner said this is Juji's last one, and then he put out like three more. And then like each event had their own video that Juju was putting out, and then he did like an hour and a half long one, and then he still put out more after that. So I mean, I get it. He spent a lot of money. He's got to get as much content as he gets out of it, and I've watched it all, and it's been enjoyable. But like some of it is kind of like the one that was like an hour plus long had like half of the stuff they had already released, like compiled in it also. So I wasn't sure, but I mean,
Keith, if you could go through that really long clip, video one, and pull out everything that's in the other videos, just so it's only the stuff that isn't in the other videos, and
there's probably
get
another
that
half
to
hour.
me.
Yeah.
Send that, just send that over.
Share that in the group chat. That'd be great.
Yeah. We'd appreciate your work.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. But yeah, I'm very curious though if he bought the Tsunami Bar yet, because it was kind of funny because like what my biggest takeaway from the Tsunami Bar video was I could tell like Tanner must have had just looked at the facts of the bar, because he was like he seemed competent talking about it in the video, and then when he talked about it on the podcast. So for us, the podcast came first, but in reality, he did the video before he did the podcast. He couldn't remember like which bar was which and which the weight range for it. So I found that funny that like, but I get it. It's busy guy. So
Well, yeah, he probably read the spec sheet 2 seconds before he did the video.
I know, but
And
then when they
didn't
were
read it
talking
for,
about
like,
it on a
a
podcast,
week.
like 3 days later,
Yeah,
he was
well,
like, "Wait, that
shoot.
doesn't." But yeah, I also don't remember what I said yesterday half the
I
time.
can't
so.
remember what was on the podcast I listened to on Monday.
Yeah,
So-
same.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, but that was that. But
All
I'm
right.
curious if he bought it. That was the gist.
You
I
know
do
he's
want.
going to. Like, we all know he's going to tell us he didn't. Then one's going to show up and he's going to go this old thing, and that's where it's going to end. Like it.
and it's going to be a part of the strongman competition in some way.
That'd be interesting.
I'll give one little last thing before we jump into the guest. We are pushing some time limits here. That's not that bad.
That sounds. No, this is the way you said it was. I was trying to make an innuendo. It was funny.
Oh, okay.
Jumped into
Wrong
the
again, Keith.
I hate you so much. Good
So-
stuff.
This is the grinds my knurling off my Texas power bar. The day that Morgan wasn't feeling good, I had already promised Saga, my 3-year-old, that we would go for lunch. So as we were driving Morgan home, she wasn't feeling good, and I was like, okay, Saga, we will still go out together because I promised you we would. So we went to this place in town because the snow had started, so we didn't want to go very far. I love this place, great pizza. They always
Austin pizza?
No. This place is called Binbrook Pizza, so it's close enough.
Oh, yeah,
except
same thing.
except they have like better handmade pizzas. And we go and we sit down, and Saga orders orange juice, please, and I have a Coke. And the lady goes, "Are you expecting anybody else?" And I said, "No, Mommy's not feeling good. She's at home." And the lady goes, "Oh, so it's Daddy's turn to cook, so you went out, eh?"
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, who the fuck are you? Like, I promised my little girl I would take her out for lunch. And you're just like putting it down that daddies are lazy or whatever. So don't do that. Don't do that to fathers. Don't do that to dudes like that. It made me so mad. I stewed on it all day. And then I told Morgan, like, right before bed, I was like, oh, and by the way, like, it's like, oh, it's daddy's turn to babysit. No, I'm being a dad, you jackass. Like, relax.
Yeah. All that kind of stuff drives me nuts. But like, and it makes my wife even more crazy, especially because I'll take like all 3 kids like to the grocery store, and I'll come back and be like, I had 10 people today tell me I'm an incredible parent simply because I'm walking through the grocery store with children.
Yep.
And Kayleen was like, I do that on the daily, and no one cares. And it is just as hard. Like, there is no difference in me walking them through the grocery store or her walking. It is the same 3 children, and they're both just as crazy as can be, no matter which. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, a dude is doing this? That's impossible. It's like, brother.
Well, that's because
I know we used to be a proper country.
Yeah, where dad stayed
dads
home.
Dads can't have children around, but we're not a. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was just like daddy's turn to cook, and I was like, no, I promised her I would take her out for lunch, and just because mommy's not feeling good doesn't mean plans change. Like,
but also, if I did have to cook, I would bring her here too.
if I had to cook, she'd be getting the same thing at home. But like, I don't know. It just drove me insane.
Yeah, that's infuriating.
Anyway.
My knurling is also officially grinded.
All right.
Ground.
Quick thing here before
Grinded.
I definitely woke Stephanie up last week when I screamed surprises, and I'm pretty sure I probably just woke her up just now when I just like impersonated Tanner going, "We used to be a proper country," in an elevated voice.
Yeah,
I can't raise my voice like that when I record because it's literally like, the wall between me and her is about as thin as Joey's basement wall.
Oh, jeez.
His wall's thick. There's just gaping holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good episode title.
All right. Should we do an ad read?
Yeah, let's do an ad read. I hope our guest this week has an ad read prepared for us. If not, we can we'll see. Maybe I didn't do a good enough job letting him know to have one ready.
Ad read? Oh wait, hold on. I got something.
We can just unmute Mofo and let him do one.
Hold on. I got something.
He's ready.
We
might do that anyway, just as he's a loyal listener.
All I'm saying though, for the listeners at home, you guys don't get to experience this. This is an audio podcast, and I want to explain to you right now. We started this podcast. I was just staring at Joey. I'm staring at Keith. we're all just in our respective basement, dark dwelling areas. Not really, but we're just in our dark areas, just gloomy looking bunch of group of dudes. And then none other than the mofo guy joins in, just looking jacked as all get out, sunglasses on, mustache looking thick, driving through the streets of California with palm trees in the background, looking just the coolest possible that he can. And it's really just a disservice to everyone listening that they can't also experience that.
I think he waxed his mustache just for this little clip.
He might have. I think he's just here to distract. I've honestly not been able to focus on a thing except for his face. It's
I was gonna ask Joey to kill his video just to like not be distracting.
No, please don't. I need something to keep me going tonight. It's the only hope I have. But anyways, yeah, I got a couple. I got an ad here queued up for us, so we'll just play this from a previous guest.
That's what I love. What I've always loved about BW Tax is, you can be someone like me. I have a W-2 job.
Hold on, that's the wrong one. Hold on.
Okay.
I think this
in
one.
the early 1960s, the man started attending horse shows. Not that kind of show.
Oh wait a second. That's
you notice the horses barely had any protection from the herd.
Yep. I think this one is it.
That's the thing about the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. When you call them, you're always going to get a warm body, unless, of course, it's Nate. You know, he has a chat GPT, a bot service. Other than that, you might get two other warmish bodies. Going to teach you how to get unpaid, how to stay unpaid, how to use your unpaid. That's what I like about them over at Unpaid and Underrated. That's honestly what I've always liked about them.
There you have it. A word from our sponsors.
That's so much better because if you listen to the OK podcast, you know that was just a complete BW Tax
okay.
parody.
Because I was going to say, I really enjoyed that. It sounded like he recorded that in a birdhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's so many birds and stuff going on in the background.
Oh, I'm sure he was. He was probably because it was 70 a couple days ago before they got a foot of snow. So
now I'll tell you that I gave Tanner a small heads up that I wanted to do that.
That was well done.
And I was like, are the chances? What are the chances you can get that to me before Thursday? And I messaged him today at like 4:00. I was like, hey, the chance is still good. Like, what are we looking at? And he messaged me back 15 minutes before we started and was like, do I still have time? And I was like, you have 15 minutes. And that's what I was doing as we were starting to record, was getting that loaded in the soundboard. So I'm glad that all worked out.
Gotcha. I was wondering what you're waiting for. No, that was really good. Good job, Tanner. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, Tanner. That's amazing. When I got him to do the wrong again, Keith, I asked him, and then I waited a week, and then I asked him again, and he had it to me in like 5 minutes. And I couldn't tell if he had recorded it and just didn't send it, or if he just did it on the spot and sent it.
Mm-hmm. So we just had our sponsor do an ad read for our podcast in place of the ad read for his podcast on our podcast, which is a spinoff of their podcast. Like, I've never said that's meta before, but I think that's meta.
Oh yeah, and we did it. We did it in the style of our cousin's podcast ad read.
Yes,
so.
Yes.
And you want to know what we say about? You want to know what we say about Tanner? He's a good dude.
He's a good dude. He is a good dude.
It's
good dude,
hard
better
to do
at memes. Yeah,
it's hard to do a good ad read even against tall grass.
Yeah, no, that'll preach. I've always said that. Never.
As a father of a podcast.
Oh, geez. Should we get our guest on the horn?
Yeah, let's kick these looky-loos out and see if we can get that artificial intelligence on the horn.
Well, I was going to leave the looky-loos in.
Well, we can't. We will. We gotta say it.
Oh, by the way, it's 200 horse stalls coasters.
Did he big math that or he's just being cute?
He just changed his name to it.
I know.
That's genuinely hilarious.
No, I noticed that like it happened like 10 minutes ago, but I was curious if he mathed that or not.
Ryan, if you don't change the name of you right now.
Oh, what did he?
I cannot show up on our podcast.
We just can't read it. There needs to be a space.
Don't say it out loud.
There's never been a more important time for Ryan to have a space. Oh, look at him. He's figured it out. Well, now we know where. Never mind.
Now we know where he's spending his time. We got some questions, sir.
Yeah. That's why he's bald.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't get it. Why do I not get it?
He can't change his name. I'll change it. Anyway, let's get our guest on the horn. Keith, you want to introduce him?
Yeah, everybody, this is Big Nate. Welcome to the podcast, Big Nate. Big Nate Ekberg, the third leg of the podcast, as I like to call him. Welcome, my friend.
What do you? I've been here the whole time. What do you?
No.
What are you
you son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, there's always those telltale signs of someone who's never freaking listened to a goddamn episode. Darn episode.
What do you guys? I've been on this. I've been talking this. What are you talking about?
Way to ruin a bit there, Nate. All right.
Wrong
Nate.
again, Keith.
Big Nate.
I'm waking up the kids for sure laughing. You guys.
This will definitely surprise you as our first question. But what brought you to Massonomics, buddy? How'd you find us?
Oh, hold on. Let me get my script here. What Tanner told me to say. Okay. So, no, what brought me to Massonomics? And we'll get into my lifting history, which I feel like is, well, I don't know. I don't know what we'll get into. I've never listened to an episode of this. But brought me to Massonomics. I think a lot of people have found Massonomics this way. But I was brought in through the one and only Cooper Mitchell gym tour of the Massonomics gym. And I watched that, and then like the podcast got recommended to me, and I was just starting on my lifting career at that point, and I was like, man, I'd love some podcast about lifting. And I started listening, and I was like, I love these guys. I think they're great. And I've basically been a loyal listener, I think, since whenever that was. So
it was like 2019, I think, right?
Well, yeah. It's been
pre-COVID.
Well, I don't know the time frame of like garage gym reviews thing created to when I actually, you know what I mean? Like,
no, yeah, you might have watched the episode.
I've been listening forever, seeming like not like in the Tyler years, but it's been a while. Like, you know what I mean? Like I started listening for context before, like, yeah, around 2019, because it was right before we did the lift hard, or not the lift hard to leave easy, the stimulus check competition.
Oh, so, yeah, that was before. I don't even remember that one.
Exactly. So I'm
better than me.
Yeah, I'm better than all of you.
Whoa.
You did. Well, actually, we'll jump ahead a little bit. So you might actually, you probably do have a lower supporting membership number than Joey and I. What's yours?
I have no idea. I have.
I guess I should have sent. I should have sent you the
you didn't take. No one gave me anything to prepare, so I just showed up here. I literally don't know. There's some secrets involving my supporting membership that I cannot divulge on this podcast, for one thing. But my one card, Massonomics supporting membership card, my first one is pinned to the wall in my office that I don't ever visit anymore at my work. And my other one, I think, is in my garage. I need to get all of this up on the wall.
It's under all the debris.
Just don't put it on the ceiling because it'll fall down.
Yeah, Ryan will knock it off. But I don't know where anything is, which is just a state of my life.
Well, then I guess that means you have a higher number than us because you can't prove otherwise.
I cannot. I might as well have number 1,000. But yeah, I've been around. We'll just say that.
He's got Schrodinger's supporting member number.
Yeah.
Could be number 2. Could be number last one. You never know.
Well, anyone that wants to track you down on the old Instagrams, where are they going to find you
at? Great question. Nate E561. Or you can find me at glazesearch.com as well. Active poster there.
Nice. And I think we talked about it earlier, but a little Ohio living. You're an Ohio man now. Have you always been an Ohio guy, or you been bouncing around? Or
oh, brother,
where are you from?
I grew up right here, Akron, Ohio, born and raised. Ironically, the house I own now with my family, I've got a wife and children. I realize I actually have to explain things because that's the point of this episode. So I should probably give back information on some of this stuff. I have a wife. I'm married. Almost 8 years, 9 years. I can't even keep track anymore. We'll be close to 10 years here soon, which is absurd. We got 3 kids that we love. We live in a house together, and that house is like 10 minutes from the house that I did most of my childhood in, like on the other side of I don't want to ruin any OPSEC, but it's just I live on the same road, but just 10, 15 minutes down the other way, and like a different what is that called? County? Yeah, different county technically. But
that's how I know you're AI, is because the way you said did my childhood in. I don't think I've heard anyone say they did their childhood in this home.
What he had a podcast, did a childhood. I am human.
Yeah, I am real, I promise. But yeah, so I've grown up here in Northeast Ohio, Midwest. You know how it is. It's been great.
Been there a time or two.
I went to Coventry High School. I don't know how deep we want to go. I've never listened to this podcast. I graduated with
people's opportunity to tell me what other states they lived in. That's all.
I was in the what is it called? Honors Club. What's the stinking thing? I was vice president. I remember my vice principal told me that
what was their
people
name?
In the honors club, I cannot remember. But he said, I remember when I was interviewing people, if they were in the honors club, I instantly to the top of the jobs. No one's ever asked me about being in honors club. That dude lied to me. But I was vice president. I helped with the blood drives. So, and then after I graduated, no, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, if there was a piece of Massonomics merch that you wish would come back, what is it?
I've been thinking about this a lot, not because I listen to the podcast, because I don't, but because I've longed for it so much. And I feel like I may have told this story on this podcast. I don't listen, but I am active on it.
Occasionally. You've been on an episode or two.
Yeah. I feel like I've said this, but maybe it's just I've said it to other crew or something. But I can like remember it happening in my wife's uncle's house. We're sitting on the couch. It's Black Friday, and I'm looking through the Black Friday drop, and the Raw Power crew neck hoodie is for sale. And I like showed it to my wife, and I showed it to her cousin, and they were like, "That's an awesome crew neck." Which I don't know if anyone else in the Massonomics world has ever experienced this, but when you're like, "Look at this awesome drop," you don't always hear that from your significant other. When you're like, "Look at this cool yeah buddy shirt," they're like, "Huh?" And you're like, "Oh yeah," but they saw the Raw Power one. They're like, "That's awesome." And that should have been the sign at that moment for me to pull the trigger. And I was just like, I'll think about it. And then I didn't get it. And now I'm crushed because I think it's one of the best crew necks that would have ever created. Like my wife's like, I'd wear that. And I'm upset that you don't have it. So yeah, I'd loved it for the Raw Power crew neck to come back.
In the Comfort Colors crew neck. That doesn't exist yet, but they're all the same.
I have some of their crew neck and hoodies. They're not bad.
Not bad. They're okay. Would you say they're okay?
No, I wouldn't give them that much. The Comfort Colors, though, their hoodies, the hood is very small. So I feel like it would be they have a weird, on the ones I've had from them, the hood is like,
I
need
a
tiny head.
Like I need Assassin's Creed hoods. Like it needs to cover my face. Okay. Yeah.
So Tanner, if you're listening, be very weary of the Comfort Colors hoodie, in my honest opinion.
Big question. What's your Hall of Fame status?
So, to no one's surprise, I also have no clue. And I've been waiting since we got the Hall of Fame cards to go on a rant about this. And I've like just held this inside. That thing showed up. I looked at it and was like, I have to figure this out myself. I got frustrated, put it back in the envelope, and put it with like all my thank you cards, and was like, I refuse to do the work on this.
So lazy.
It was just like I was in the middle of so many things, and whenever I got that, I opened it and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I was like, how's this work? And I was like, okay, I just cannot do that.
It's a check. It's like a yes or no checklist.
Yeah, but I was like, how many orders do you have? And I was like, probably 10, but I don't. And I was like, I don't want to go online and figure it out. And I don't even know if I was logged into my account when I've ordered all these things.
That's executive dysfunction. I just looked real
quick. I'd guess you're at 10 because I know you haven't gone to Lift Hard Live Easy. I know you didn't compete at Lift Hard Live Easy. You haven't gone to Crew Falls. You're probably not at 4 years. Maybe you are. That I don't know. If you're at 4 years, you're at 11. I'm assuming you own a drink. I know you own a drink spotter. You probably have banned merchandise. There's no way you haven't done 10 orders. You won a contest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Your voice has been on their podcast. You've been on this podcast. You've posted pictures with people. You haven't lifted at the gym, and you are you backlog up to date?
No.
Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure you're at 10. So get to work on that, bud.
I've listened to some of the backlog, but not all of it.
Well, I don't think there's a sum of it, check mark.
I watched the podcast history recap thing, and that was...
This isn't government work. There's no maybe.
So 10 out of 15 isn't too bad, but
very good. Anything above 1 is great. That's what I say every episode.
Make a trip to South Dakota, you could literally probably be at cup level pretty quick.
Yeah.
South Dakota.
Ramcotta. That's good.
Is Ryan on a plane?
Yeah,
he said he told us he was going to be.
This is ridiculous. Episode 100 is off the rails.
Big travel guy. Nice.
That's much better
than the
name.
Last one.
Yeah. I just told Morgan as I went to the bathroom. I went and farted in the hallway, so I didn't fart into the microphone this time.
Again. Mr. It was the chair. You're so full
Bruh.
Bruh. And so I told her, I was like, oh, Ryan came in and had this as his name. And she's like, what's wrong with him?
Can't trust these Ryans.
No, it's all...
Big Nate, what's your how do you feel about gym names? And did you call it the compound, right? Is that what you actually call it?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I'm leading up to are you a certified training center?
I am a certified training facility.
And what name's on that?
Great question. I feel like that as
you
a
also
person,
don't know?
Well,
is that still in the envelope because you got too anxious?
No, I wrote a name down. I went back and forth on a ton of names and just could not pick one. I just finally wrote something down. So the official name, as it is stated on the map, is the Eckberg Families. The Eckberg Family Training Club.
WEIGHT?
Huh?
What?
Never mind. It was a bad joke, and then I misspelled it, so it doesn't make sense.
Oh, wait, I see.
Yeah, I was. It's because you paused, and then I screwed up spelling.
My grandma would always say, "Weight broke the wagon." But the Eckberg Family Training Club is the official gym name of the certified training facility.
I like a last name involved in the gym name.
Well, I figured it's not now my wife's out lifting with me. The kids are out there. Theo's always tossing weight around. So I was like, it literally is the family training facility at this point.
Yeah.
That's the goal, man.
You have 3 sons, right? What are their ages? Because they'll probably be legitimately using the gym in the future, not just messing around with you. So that's cool to actually have your name tied to it.
One's almost 6, one is 4, and one is 1.5.
There you go. So another 5-10 years, you'll have a whole crew of athletes out there, and if not, that's fine too.
Yeah, no, they're already athletes. They're great.
Cool beans. So this is one that's going to be a little more different, just because your role here. But when you sent the questionnaire out to people, how'd you explain what it was for and what UNU is, and just explaining Massonomics hard enough for most people. So explaining us and what you're going to be doing here has got to be a whole level of weird. Do you have any funny stories or how that went?
I just said fill this out.
Oh, okay. So no,
I didn't preface anything. I don't think. I'm trying to look back through the messages where I sent that. I feel like
it's like
I was.
Do they even know?
Oh yeah, everybody knows.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess if they follow.
Well, it was funny. I sent it to some I sent it to a friend that I don't get to talk to often, which is my own fault because I'm a bad friend. Sorry, Nigel. But I sent it to him, and we'll get to him later. And I was like, hey, gonna be on a podcast. If you guys can fill this out, you don't have to write anything. But if you have any funny stories or anything you want to drop in here, go for it. And they were just like, what? And I was like, just fill it. Just look at it. Answer questions. Easy peasy. And the one dude was like, I literally don't. I'm such a terrible friend. He was like, you lift now? And I was just like, I'm a really bad friend. But yeah. So for the most part, I was just like, I'm going to be on a podcast. I also produce said podcast. If you didn't know, please fill this out. And yeah, it went well enough. The best was I did send it to a group of friends who I talk about producing this podcast with frequently. And I replied to the message where I had sent the link, and I was like, hey, last chance if you guys are going to fill this out. And my one friend responded with, wait, who is this for? And I was like, I give up. I can't.
Dude. And yeah. So as hard as that is, the questionnaire that you created has literally made my life so much easier, and people still can't figure it out at times, but like I don't care because that's more the guest's problem at this point. As long as I get 4 to 6 people submit, we can make a podcast out of that. But it keeps me out of like a million fucking freaking strangers DMs, so that helps.
Yeah.
All right. Least fun, most fun time, I think. Let's Nate, I know this is your first time here, so I guess I'll have to explain least fun, most fun. So, I'm going to give you a topic, and you just have to tell me if it's the least fun or the most fun thing.
I don't think that's how that works, but okay.
Well, okay.
I thought, not that I've listened to this podcast, but I thought the premise was I explained the least fun part about that thing and the most fun part about that thing, not whether that thing was fun or not. But I've never listened.
That's a better idea. We should go with that. We're going to switch it to that's the new game. Okay, so what Nate just said. So least fun, most fun. Doing all the technical guy stuff for you and crew as well.
Wait, what was the question? I don't know if you're doing a bit with me and if I've just misremembered how this game works, or
at least did I? Okay,
or if you've legitimately explained it wrong, thought you did it right, and I corrected you, and you didn't know that. I'm so lost right now. What was the question?
I explained it wrong as a joke. You explained it right.
Okay.
And did I just butcher it?
For the Davids. By the way. That was a bit.
Yeah. I just couldn't. I don't know.
So
I don't know what's happening.
Explain it to me like I'm one of the Davids.
Explain it like I'm Nate, man.
So tell me the least fun and most fun thing about doing all the technical guy stuff or being the technical guy for you and you.
Oh my gosh.
So producing the podcast specifically for us.
Oh yeah, you had to open up this can of worms. We got a time limit here.
This is just me yelling at you guys. What's the least fun part? Is dealing with these two numbskulls. Like, what is? I don't know. The least fun part is just when stupid stuff happens, having to fix it. But I mean, that's just life. So, like when somebody doesn't record a whole podcast and you scramble on Zoom for 2 hours in the middle of your workday trying to fix it and yada yada. I mean, that one part wasn't fun, but
never happened.
It never happened. There's not a missing episode.
There is no proof.
There literally isn't. There literally is not. That is the problem. Yeah, that's like just. Excuse me. When that happens, that's annoying. But other than that, everything's great. The most fun part, I don't know. It's always fun to me when I can sneak something into episodes while I'm editing.
I like that.
And it's a fun little I'm a third character in the podcast that no one expects because it literally is just all of it comes out of nowhere. And sometimes I ask for approval and sometimes I just do things. So I enjoy the curation I can have in that and choosing, what to do there. There's been some good times in that. So, the least actually, you want to know what the least fun thing is?
I mean, that was the whole premise of the question.
Yeah, okay, shut up. The least fun thing is finding people's pictures that don't look like potatoes, not
blur,
their faces. Is their blur. All these photos. I go out and try to find these people's photos, and it's like them with 6 people, but they're only this big, and I've got to crop them out, and I try to not.
Can we just all start sending photos with our eyes closed? Just
your eyes can be closed. That's fine.
Just go with the My Name is Earl bit where they just every unpaid and underrated person, their new selfies are just their eyes closed, and that's what we use on every thumbnail.
I'll close your eyes for you. We'll do it manually. I'll do it myself. But like it's so
stupid.
It's like when I try to blow it up into the thumbnail, and I'm just like, this resolution is so bad. Also, Keith, you said bitrate. You mocked me for talking about bitrate. It has nothing to do with bitrate. That's not a photo thing.
I know that's media. It's music. So
yeah, I was just
whatever the equivalent for pictures is for that
resolution.
Sure,
is what was the word you were looking for.
I'm glad we got that resolved then.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh wow.
But
is it dealing with 2 utter Luddites?
Yeah.
Like I pretty much understand technology, but I hate it.
What did I say the other day? The pictures the apps show me, I don't have those up, and I was talking about badges.
Yeah. Keith called badges on his app icons on his home screen, pictures. He was like, I don't have the pictures enabled on my apps. And I was like, I don't know what that means, which is, you know what? You want to know what the most difficult part of this job is? It's just trying to read what Keith tells me. I never know what Keith is saying. There's you can ask my wife. The constant state of my life is saying, Keith sent me something and I don't know what it means.
Well, there's a typo in it half the time. And then once I
know. That's the problem, Keith. I don't know what it means.
I know. I fix it. Well, my favorite part of our group chat is when we all do it to each other at this point now, or at least you and I do it to each other and to Joey, is we just send a question mark back to something because we don't know what the fuck it meant. It's just like, it's just question mark.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then I'll be like, it's one of those things like I mumble in real life and I have to like, did I mumble through this text too? And like, I'll have to go and be like, shit, there was no context. Like sometimes I'll just go in there with like a random sentence.
Oh yeah. Joey will, as if we were talking about something for 10 years, we'll be like, yeah, that thing is crazy. And it's like, what thing? What thing are we talking about, Joey?
Yeah. Yeah. There is no thing. You question marking. Like I acknowledge my typos can ruin a sentence and take all the context out of it. But Joey just starts random conversations. We're already in the middle of one. And I'm like, wait, what? It's like, does this pertain to that? No. Okay.
No.
So shout out to my dad. My dad, he'll probably listen to this. I've watched him do this in person, and my dad will send me text messages, and it's the same thing that I get from Keith. I look at it, and I'm like, I just don't know what this means. Like, I just am completely lost reading this. And later on in my time with my dad, we're just out, we're living life, and I watch him respond to a text via like talk to text. And I see him talking to his phone. He's watching the message transcribe. He looks at it and he goes, that's not right. They'll figure it out, and click send. And I was like, this is why I can understand nothing. Dad, stop doing that. Fix the typos.
I just
assume that's also what Keith is doing. They'll figure it out.
I just have a fat thumb, and I'm probably in the middle of like 10 different my phone has a lot of freaking text on it.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're gonna. Does anything jump out of the crew questions, Joey? Because I think we can just move on. I don't think any of those jump out at me.
It's all it. I mean, I love crew.
Yeah.
You basically got a bunch of Scance's old jokes.
Yep. I'm sorry. I even copied and pasted them in this week, but
somebody sent some binary. Somebody sent some. How long did it take to develop your Ultron body? Things like that. You as Ultron is a funny. That's not what they said. I inserted that into their question, but that's actually a really funny thing.
Almost 30 years. I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
Aren't you like 25?
I'm 29.
Oh, you are. You were 20.
He's almost 30
younger
years.
When we started this episode with this
podcast,
episode though.
Yeah,
not this episode. No, this episode. No, you would. I know. I remember when we first started. You 20. You had to have been 26 or 27.
Well, let's do math. It's almost 2 years. I'm 29 now, Keith. Come on, keep up.
I could have sworn you were 20 younger than that, though.
Nope, that's not how time works.
No, but sorry. Depending on where your birthday fell. Well, we also talked about the podcast for 4 months. When did you turn 29?
My birthday is November 10th, 1995.
Okay, so we probably started talking about.
If anyone would like to send me gifts, now is your opportunity. There was probably still coming up.
There was probably some podcast talk when you were still 26.
No, it was not back that far, but
close enough. Nonetheless,
are you 29 and like 3/4?
My birthday is November 10th, 1995. I am not 30 yet. I am almost 30.
That's very true. You're saying that like you're afraid of 30. Is everything okay?
No, I'm not afraid of anything.
Not even drywall falling on you?
Yeah, that I am. I was very scared this morning when I was lifting. I just look at the ceiling like, you stay in there, huh? But we'll survive.
Actually, what I'll do is some of these crew questions I'll add into Unpaid and Underrated if we get to them.
Yep. So we know you're a tech guy. Is anything you want to elaborate on that, or you don't have to say anything you don't want to about your job, obviously. But
I want to say so much. How much time do I have?
90 seconds max.
Oh, I got 6 minutes on this. So Nathan's backstory on his life here. Crazy thing how I ended up in programming. So I'm a developer now by trade. People probably want to know, hey, how'd this guy become a developer? And I don't know if we'll get into it, but
like land developing.
No.
This is our land.
People always get confused when I say I'm a developer, and they don't.
Yeah, no, I have no clue what that means. I literally don't know what that means.
But software developer, I write code, I program. Primary currently is I write C#, and just back end, and then on the front end I do TypeScript, JavaScript. I use SvelteKit as my framework of choice. I love it so much. It's wonderful. You should use SvelteKit. But I started when I graduated high school. Me and my buddy who didn't know I lifted, we're going to start a coffee shop, big coffee dude. And I went to business school, and I was like, I'm going to start a coffee shop. And then like a semester in, I took like some random class, and I was like, it was like programming adjacent. It was like a math class, but we were doing something called logic gates. And I was like, I really like this tickles my brain in a way I really enjoy. And I asked my buddy who was a CS major, computer science, for those who don't know. And I was like, hey, is this what?
Not.
No, yeah, I figured if you're in the biz, you know.
I only drew it because of CS script. That's never mind. Go ahead.
But so I asked him, I was like, is this what you do? And he was like, yeah, kinda. And I was like, cool. And I just switched my major. And it was like that one class. And so went to school, became a developer, got a job working for Xerox for like 5 years as a systems analyst, doing like a bunch of big job business stuff. And wanted to make a move into small business. And so coming up on 3 years, I moved to a company called Ability Business. We're out of Jackson, Ohio. We're a real small company. But if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, man, I am a small business who needs a point of sale system, who uses QuickBooks Online. Well, lucky for you, coming soon is going to be the greatest point of sale system that will ever exist for your exact use case. So check out abilitybusiness.net.com. I don't remember. Check it out. But I work there. I'm the lead developer right now, working on developing a point of sale system from the ground up. We've been working on it for 2 years. Really excited to launch that. So that is what I do for a living. Is I literally just sit and write code all day, and I'm love to do it. It's so much better than my old job, where when people would ask me what I do for a living, I would just tell them I write emails. And it is a very freeing to be creative. Love it. Wes, if you're listening, shout out to you. Thanks for giving me a job and keeping me employed. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Wes.
So yeah, shout out to Wes.
Now, speaking of development, I mean, I obviously want to talk about one of the things that I pump your tires about probably a little too much, is your Strongman app that you developed that was used at the Lift Hard, Live Easy last year.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, and will likely be used at the next one. And, you know, we've even been telling people to use it in their Strongman apps. And, like, we understand why some of the smaller places can't, but some of these bigger people, you know, they could be using your thing. Now, how did that... I've never asked... Maybe I have and forgot, because that's what I do. How did that come about?
Dude, I forgot. I also needed to pitch this. So yeah, a little backstory on Strongman Scoreboard as its working title. Coming to a internet near you. Just worked out all the legal side of that. And so now that all the legal stuff is set up, the app's ready. Okay. It's out there. It's on the internet. Buy horse stall coasters.
He had a very long drive home. He's been.
Thank you for joining us.
Like a half hour.
But so that app's that's pretty much ready to go. It'll be here to market here soon enough. And I was trying to get it finished in time to launch it officially on this episode, but bureaucracy, you know, it just.
No, we used to be a proper country.
Yeah, we used to be a proper country where people could just start businesses and get money into their bank account and spend money and tax write-offs, yada yada. But we're not anymore. And now you got to go through all the stinking red tape.
4 or 5 weeks.
But yeah, so pretty soon we'll have that to the world. But the way it started was Jake just messaged me on something and was like, I know you made Glaze Search, I think is what he referenced, or Tate Sounds. I don't remember at that point in time. And he's like, but do you do you actually do that stuff? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, never mind. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, if you do that for a living, I don't want to like bother you about it. And I was like, what are you trying to do? Like,
yeah, what's the pitch here?
Okay, but I want to know. Like, I like to build stuff. I like to help people. What's the deal? And he was like, I want to like make this scoreboard app for the Lift Hard, Live Easy. Do you think I can use like Squarespace for that? And I was just like, no, you can't.
Isn't Squarespace the payment thing?
You're thinking of Stripe.
Okay,
Squarespace is a WYSIWYG website app or like service. So you can go and like design your website. It's really easy. They have like, you can do a shop and stuff on it and whatnot. It's a great thing. Use code unpaid at Squarespace when you sign up for 15% off a domain or something like that. We'll get that as a sponsorship. You can't build the Strongman scoreboard on that. You're going to need Big Nate for that. Or Ekberg Solutions LLC, which I am now the proud owner of. That
Congratulations.
Purchasing.
Nice.
So he asked me, he was like, can I build this on Squarespace? And I was like, 0 chance. But give me a weekend and I'll see what I can put together. And I put it together like a little proof of concept for him, sent it over, and he's like, I like this. And we hard coded all the stuff to the show that we did. And it was it. It was awesome. For those that don't know, that haven't been there, that weren't at the Lift Hard Live Easy Strongman scoreboard, the concept is things are happening and people are watching. And a lot of times the things that are happening and the people that are watching, there's nothing to communicate to both ways, right? Mm-hmm. You're confused. I'm a spectator. I showed up to this local strongman event because it's going on in my town. I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know what this event is. I don't know how the scoring works. I don't know anything that's going on. And you're like, man, I really wish I could understand this announcer. Maybe there is no announcer. Who knows? I'd love to talk about what's going on. And so Strongman Scoreboard exists to be a screen that displays things like the current athlete, the next athlete, the current athlete's weight class, what the implement weight is, if that's relevant to the event. Really, it's literally just to be a display board for here's what is happening right now at this moment. So you can put, hey, they're attempting a max deadlift. You can do if it's like a for reps event, so it's like deadlifts for reps or whatever for reps, as strongman is horses for reps, who knows.
Horse cocks.
You can if you want to do that. There was that one in Ohio. We'll get back to that. But you can increment it so you can, the people can watch live the counter on the screen as the reps are happening, so they don't have to count in their head, which is great because people can't count, but one person can count and they'll count well and they'll all see it and they'll all share that experience. Mm-hmm. But also what I heard from people, from user experience, live testimonials, people that competed like Keith himself, when they were doing head-to-head events, it was very helpful for them because they could also see the competitors. They could also see what was happening on the other side. And, when you're lifting like Keith was, 600 pounds off the ground, it's hard to also focus and figure out what the other person is doing. So if there's a quick little heads up display that you could look at and say, oh, that person is 1 rep ahead of me, I know what I need to do to beat them. It gives also an interesting competitive advantage. So yeah, it might not be for every strongman event ever, but it's definitely a helpful tool. It'll be just a subscription price. Haven't nailed down the price exactly to where it'll land, but subscription price is really just, hey, make sure that I don't lose a ton of money on hosting with this and help me desire to continue to put new features into it. Because I got a lot of ideas for features, and
I will say,
we can get some users. And
I will say
put more
that
features in it.
The Lift Hard Live Easy was my first in-person strongman event, which I know is awful of me, but I just don't go places. I don't like crowds.
Well, they're not they're spectator friendly to the extent of like, if you don't know someone there, you're not just going to go show up.
Yeah.
Unless it's like
but then I started watching them on
Strongman
YouTube.
Scoreboard.
Yeah. And then I started watching them on YouTube and started like consuming more strongman and was just like, they don't all do this. How do you keep track of anything? Because it was so like you
get on Iron Podium at the end and
the head-to-head Atlas Stone, like you were literally watching and you're watching these two people struggle, and then you're seeing the score up there. And I was like, I can't believe other places don't do that. How do you, as a spectator, sit here and understand what's happening? Because you could sit here and try and count that person and that person and that person and that person, but if there's something there right in your face telling you, it's more exciting. You're watching each rep and you're watching the counter build. But you also did a thing where you snuck in a lot of Massonomics and Unpaid and Underrated stuff. I think the Keith's head appeared a couple times. The Massonomics logo appeared a couple times. Is that something that users are going to do with this app? This is turning into ad reading. I'm sorry, but
no, this is great. This is all I wanted. I want no one to know about me, but I want them to know the apps, and I need them to give me money because I have 3 children and a ceiling that is falling in.
I got kids.
Please subscribe. Use code Unpaid.
Ryan should actually like Venmo you $50 to take care of at least.
Yeah, for real, Ryan. Why'd you break that?
Like he owes you a sheet of drywall and some screws and tape and mud and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, as of now, it'll be pretty simple. The interface itself is pretty customizable in terms of like font sizes and sizes of things and things that display. But no, Keith head will not be on every page. Unfortunately, for professionalism, it will not pop up. Maybe we'll add it somewhere, but not on the scoreboard for everyone all the time. Maybe it'll be an optional thing that you can enable. But yeah, the funny part about like getting all of that together was just I was in Ohio and he wasn't. And I was like, hey, let me know what happens. Because he had a projector that he had never tried it on in a room we'd never tried it on. And we had no concept of like, other than looking at it on our computer screen, what it needed to truly like behave like, to be visible and all of those things. So like Friday, I was out at Costco with my kids and I'm like waiting for Jake to go test it. And he finally tested and he's like, hey, I'm having like all of these problems. Can you do this? Can you do that? And I like get home, rush, put all the groceries away. And I was like, Kayleen, I need to like just go downstairs for a few hours. And I just got to fix everything. And so I was just like rushing to fix everything because he was like, I'll be back at Odie in like 2 hours to test it again. And so I had like 2 hours to like rewrite a ton of how the app worked for that show. And so it all made it in. But yeah, it was a very very stressful 2 hours, but I love it. It's great. So hopefully that'll launch soon. Yeah, and it'll be a lot all the things that we kind of figured out, and then it'll be completely customizable. So you go in, you add your events, you add your athletes. If you are doing a sanction meet, it has all the pre-populated weight classes for the different strongman organizations. So you don't have to, enter those in. So a lot of stuff.
I think my favorite part about it was when you showed us a little sneak peek of it, and you already had the Lift Hard Live Easy roster loaded. So I got like a few weeks out, got the spoiled.
That didn't happen. I don't know what Keith's talking about.
Tanner was that big Tanner was on the roster, and
Keith was lying. You immediately that never happened.
I think you even deleted the link that I could even get to it. So, but I did.
That never happened.
I did bite my tongue for that. It was officially known by the Glaze.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, nope, I do not. So we'll just give you another topic and let you run with it. So lifting history, where you at?
Lifting history. I started lifting, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago. What's time? I'm only 26. So I grew up. Everything starts with birth with me.
God, is this where we're going back to that? So.
But no, I like in high school, my dad had a gazelle in the basement, a treadmill, and just some like
that guy's weights. That guy's ponytail had to be fake, right?
I don't know.
That's like my biggest memory of that damn thing is him doing that when he was I felt like he was doing it in like a leopard singlet with his little ponytail. Freaking
yeah, that's not Tim Eckberg. That wasn't my dad. He looked much different.
The guy doing the infomercial.
I know. My dad does not have a ponytail.
Okay.
But
he can talk to text real good.
Yeah. But we had like just like some stuff, and I remember like around my senior year of high school, I was like, I'm gonna start like curling these like dinky little weights. And I was, keep in mind, in high school I weighed maybe 100 pounds, maybe up to 130. I was a very small kid. I'm not a big dude. Mind what the people will tell you on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Who's taller, you or Joey?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do have
but not
that.
by a lot.
Yeah,
No, by a lot.
By
By
3/4 of an inch.
By a ton.
By 3/4 of an inch.
So I did that, and then I went on a trip to England with my church, and I didn't lift that week, and then I never went back to it.
To England?
No, I also haven't been back to England. But I have been back to lifting, and so whatever, that kind of all fell off for me. I played sports as like a really little kid, but when I got like ultra competitive in high school, I was like, these people are trying too hard. I'm out, and so I didn't do any high school sports. Did marching band, and so graduated high school, and I started dating my now wife, and I can't remember the timeline. I think I was running before I met her, maybe a little bit. I started running outside, but my wife was a cross country runner, and we just started running together, and we'd run like 20 plus miles a week. And I remember I was a meat cutter at the time. Before I was a software developer, I was a meat cutter. Before that, I did asphalt. So that's how you know I'm a man's man.
He's
but
a man.
Ass and meat.
Yeah, something like that. And so I would like work all day cutting meat and then come home, and my wife and I would, not my girlfriend at the time, would run like 10 miles at night. And then just like fall asleep at like 9 o'clock and just be like, I'd wake up and like, I gotta go home. And then I would just like go home. So yeah, I was a big runner. We got married, kept running, yada, yada. And then my wife got pregnant.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Literally yada yada the best part.
Yada yada's the best part.
No, that's so yada yada. Keep running, yeah, Then my wife gets pregnant, and she's like, "I don't want to run anymore."
You yada yada the best part.
And she's like, "I don't want to run anymore." And I tried to like go out and kind of run on my own, and I was like, "This kind of sucks without running with my wife," because we would just every run it would just be like me and my wife next to each other. We'd talk.
Would you both? Okay, that was my follow up. Was that because like did you have headphones in and just running next to each other, or you just shot the breeze while like on a pace?
Oh no, yeah, we would just talk and hang out. She always yelled at me though, because for some reason I could never just run at the same pace as her. I would always run slightly ahead, and then she'd yell at me, and I'd have to slow down. But so she got pregnant, stopped running, and I distinctly remember my friend Mark. They had a kid before us. They were like the first in our friend group to have a kid, and he like got out of his car with his son. And he like front levered the baby carrier to like look at his kid. And I saw him do that. And I was like, I can't do that. And I was like, I need to go get strong. And like from that point forward, I quit running and I started lifting, and I haven't looked back.
That's awesome.
So
have you shared that with Mark? Does Mark know that you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's kind of cool to let him know.
Yeah, but yeah. So I started lifting. I started going to like the local YMCA. Somehow I had a membership. I don't even know how. I think my family just had a membership, but no one really went.
That's a really expensive membership to like not even know that you're a part of.
Maybe I went with my wife. My wife's family had one, and they were going, and I don't know how it all worked out. Well, we would have been married at that time. I don't know what happened, but I got to the Y, and I was working out at the Y. We bought a house, and eventually. Well, I looked at it. It has a second garage that's like detached. And I was like, man, someday I'd love to put a gym in that. And then like a few weeks later, I wouldn't stop looking at Marketplace, and I bought a bunch of stuff for my first home gym. Nice. And now it's a certified training facility. My wife's out there working now. It's all great. So
I didn't realize it's a secondary garage on the property. So that actually helps. And so you guys didn't have to fight about like, all right, well, we can't. We're in Ohio. It gets a ton of snow. You didn't have to. So you still have a 2-stall at the house, or just a 1-stall?
Yeah, so we have a 2-stall at the house, and then it's a tight-ish 2-stall, but yeah, detached behind the house. So
that's perfect. That's pretty awesome. Then that literally is like the dream of someone that wants to have a home gym. So
yeah, and it fell in our lap. The house is crazy.
The ceiling, right?
No, yeah, no, it fell on top of my tractor, which yeah, we'll get. I don't know how much I want to divulge about the home gym, because there's a potential of certain hosts coming to my state and maybe coming to my house. So
I'm jealous.
I don't want to burn all my material for when they come.
I'm very jealous. I'm trying to like get as many like New York State crew as I can to like make sure they're all certified. Well, yeah, just to like be more appealing.
Better secure that ceiling. You don't want to kill the sister host.
Yeah, that's one of my thoughts. Is I really need to do something so the ceiling doesn't fall on them when they're here.
Just filming and it just happens. Yeah,
that'd be very funny though. But yeah, like we had a family friend because we were just like looking for a house. We had Theo. He was like 3 months old, and we had a family friend that just like happened to be selling their house, and I was like, we're like, well, we weren't really ready to buy a house, but this is kind of just perfect. And like we bought the house and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this garage. And I was like, it would be cool to have a home gym. And then just like couldn't stop looking at Marketplace and trying to find deals. And it was pre-COVID. So there were actually deals that were good, and found some stuff, bought a home gym, and now we're here.
Hey, nice. What kind of so you're so basically, what do you follow Juggernaut, or you do your own thing, or you do what you doing?
So back when I was at the Y, I was doing like whatever bodybuilding split I could find from bodybuilding.com. And when I switched to the home gym, I don't think I ever, I think I switched to the home gym. I tried to do that at home, and I like was trying to figure out the workouts. And then I stumbled, I think I asked in like the OG before it got ran over by horse stall mats, the home gym Discord, when it was actually, there were like helpful people in there. And it wasn't just a circle jerk of who knows what. And it was like, so like the Facebook group used to be awesome. No, none of you have experienced it, but like at one point it was really great. Yeah. And I went in there and I was like, hey, I'm looking
17 to 19. It was the best.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I'm looking for a program. And someone recommended 531. And I started running that, and I've been running almost entirely 531 variations of 531 for 5-ish years, however long we've really been in this house. I did run like a true powerlifting program one time, and I was like, this is a lot. I don't know if I'm committed enough for this. I don't know if I have enough time in my morning to do a whole SBD day.
Yeah, because you're a morning crew guy.
I'm a morning lifter, and so that was tough. But 531 till I die. I even wrote a small app that I host locally that tracks all my numbers and everything for me. So I run all my percentages and all of that get programmed out through that. So it's
nice,
fairly easy for me.
Little Nate hack to make that easier.
Yeah, and potentially in the future you'll get to see all of that. So stay tuned. Maybe, who knows? I don't make those decisions.
Stuff. So I know I've tried to not pester you, but what's any likelihood you'll ever do a powerlifting meet, a sanctioned meet?
Oh, on an infinite time scale, I'm sure. But
in a parallel universe, some Nate already has.
Yeah, I got a buddy. Shout out to Miles. He shot our unpaid and underrated promo video. He's a good friend of mine. He he competed a few times back. He lived in Lynchburg. Shout out to Miles Cubido. If you need a video guy, literally anywhere, you can fly him anywhere. He'll do your work. He's great. Use him.
Code unpaid.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, you can pay the same, but
like
let him know we sent you.
He's got a big home gym that he doesn't use right now, and it's in pieces. Like it's not like he has it in a place. Like it doesn't have a true home. And we've been talking about merging gyms. And I think if he ended up back in with me in training, he'd probably push me to do a competition. But someday there's a good chance that I'll end up in Aberdeen at some point and I'll do a competition or something like that. Who knows? If something comes up.
I support both of those possibilities wholeheartedly, my friend.
But yeah, it's one of those where it's like, I love lifting. I know it's a necessity for my life. For like health reasons, for just like everything reasoned. And so it's like, I don't want to stop lifting. But doing a powerlifting meet I have to put my mind in a whole different
it's a
place.
Commitment.
And I have to, I would want to lock in and give it everything. And I'm just like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you're
you're
spread pretty thin. So
I got to produce.
You got to change the mindset, and you got to just pick it up. just move the weight, just horse cock
Oh
the
God,
weights.
did you guys see the stand up? I think Dodds even sent it to me, but I think
Yeah,
I've seen
I
it in a
saw it
lot of
all day.
places. That the
Yeah.
stand up that was really funny. So you picked it up and then what you sat it down? Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what's it like dating a power lifter? I thought I really did find that amusing.
Yeah. And what's it like dating a strongman? So I found this rock.
Yeah, that is actually what it's like lately. Should we get into some games? Like this is going on
Yeah, I
an hour
mean,
and a half.
well, let's do a game and then do some poop stories and then do another game maybe because
Yeah, I want to hear that one. I want to hear him tell me that one.
Yep. I'll do.
Look at that look on him right now. He's just like, you kind of look like you're gonna kill us right now.
I gotta.
I'm ready to roll.
Where are my FMKs at? I had a good FMK.
I just highlighted one. I love it. I kind of want you to do that one.
I like mine. You can do that one. I'll do.
Okay.
I want to do the one that so you can make this quick if you want, because we'll do another one. Big Nate FMK. If anyone listening that isn't familiar with the game, you have to. There's one that you want to make friends with. There's one you want to marry, and there's one you want to knock out. So FMK. We've got Unpaid Intern Podcast, GlazeSearch.com, and Floral Designs by K, FMK. So
I'm writing them down so I can read them because my brain stinks.
We got your wife's floral website,
yeah,
Glaze Search, and then our podcast website.
Well, okay, so this is easy. I'll kill our podcast website because it's not essential. The website itself, doesn't need to exist for the RSS. Well, technically, the web server still needs to exist, but the website doesn't need to be publicly accessible for the RSS feed to go out. So if anything, the safe answer is to kill the unpaid and underrated website. Then I would have to. Oh, I would make love to the Glaze Search website all day, every day. I do constantly. It is the greatest of lovers.
When you started that, we were getting updates twice a day where you were just like, hey, check out what I built. And me and Keith were just like, why? And you were like, don't worry about it. And then it was like, and then I changed this. And then like the next day you'd be like, oh, I updated this. And you went ham on this thing for like 5 days straight.
Oh yeah.
To make it perfect. Like, I think at some point we were like, are you okay? Do you need a break?
I wasn't. I was not okay. But the problem is with the way my brain works is I can't, if something tickles it, it sticks and I can't get rid of it. And last night I was at some audio training with my buddy Adam, and for some reason Dodds has got it up on his computer, glazesearch.com. But like we were just talking, and for some reason the concept of domains come up. And like, how many domains do you own? Like, how many website names do you have? Like glazesearch.com domain.
You have more domains than I have Instagram.
That's true. And he was like, how many do you own? And I was like, I don't know. Because I just buy them and they're so cheap and you can use them for anything. Like at one point we were doing a small group thing where we were trying to do like not valedictorian. What's the thing, like most likely to, what do they call those?
Yearbook.
Like those kind of things, like who's the most likely to sort of thing. And we had like a Google Sheets poll thing for it. And I just bought a domain and redirected it, and people's mind were just blown that I could like buy a domain and just point it to another web. They were like, wow, how did that happen? And I was like, don't worry about it. So I love to buy domains. And I was like, I have 9 that I own, which isn't a ton right now. But someone was like, and he was like, how many of those are for like very serious projects? I was like, 1. And that's for my wife's website. There's one that if the world ended, that would still need to exist. But yeah, I would marry floraldesignsbyk.com. That's shout out to Squarespace. I mentioned them earlier. It is designed on Squarespace. I helped her get that all set up, but it's super easy, WYSIWYG. She can go in and edit it, but love that website. Love my wife. If you're literally anywhere in the US, shout out. This is really just a long ad read for everything that I do in my life. If you're in the US and you are getting married,
podcast, buddy.
And you're getting married, my wife is an incredible artificial florist, not meaning she does fake flowers, that she's not a real florist, but she works with artificial flowers, which means, or as we say in the business professionally, faux floral, which means that she has the ability to make something in our house, put it in a box, and ship it to you wherever you are. So she makes all kinds of awesome flowers that she asks me questions about, and I can't actively give her good answers about. But she does it. It's awesome. You should follow her, Floral Designs by K, on Instagram. It's hilarious that like somehow the way Instagram works, we were at like a wedding trade show thing, and people would just come up and be like, "Oh yeah, I follow you on Instagram." And Keelan's like, "I don't know who any of these people are." Like her, she is awesome at making reels, and they do really well. And yeah, she's great. If you're getting married, find her. She'll ship them to you. It's awesome. You need to buy them. You can't afford not to. And she's got rental options. She doesn't really ship those, so you got to be local to Ohio. But it's great. You should buy them. She's awesome.
That is really cool. I've like my mom was a florist for a few years, and that's why I didn't realize. I knew your wife was a florist or worked with, in that industry. I didn't realize it was the artificial side. That's actually really cool. I didn't even know that was actually its own like sub niche. That's very entertaining. And my favorite part of that was, when you said artificial, and I was like, so collectively, you two are the artificial Ekbergs. You are literally the artificial people.
Yeah.
You are both artificial, dabbling in artificial adjacency. That makes sense.
And since Kayleen will listen to this, I love you. And what's really awesome is she was a florist. That was like her first job ever, was working in a flower shop. And she got another one. That one shut down. We almost bought that flower shop, which would have been a crazy thing when that shut down. But then and so just another domain. And then she went to work at another one, and then we had Theo, and she stopped working, and she was like, I just want to figure out some way that I can still like help support the family, but still be at home and still help with the kids. And so she figured out how to just basically run her whole business. Like my kitchen table is constantly full of just flowers, because like there's a wall in my living room that is just in a constant state of like giant arrangements that she's building. And it's awesome. She's great. Would love her. I'd marry her. She's great.
Nice.
Do you want to know anything else about?
I do actually. I know. I really do. So like with our cats, we can't have floral stuff because like almost everything that's live that a cat eats will kill it basically. So like, does she only do wedding stuff, or does she just do like random centerpieces that she could like sell as well? And like I have like a little like picture. I have like a one little spot where like a little flower or a small arrangement would actually look cool, but like it needs to not be real.
Keith, you talk to my people. Maybe we'll figure something out.
Okay. Code unpaid.
Code unpaid.
Oh yeah, there you go. Code artificial Ekbergs.
Yeah, you just slide into those DMs. I'm sure we can work something out.
I'm a little rusty.
I can't, because I can't do any of that. But
all right. What do you got?
All right, I got a Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna take the FMK I wanted to do. I'm gonna make it a Mount Rushmore.
Do it up.
Okay, Mount Rushmore, and you have the option for the wild card for the alien face.
Oh, okay.
So you gotta do your 4, and then you've got the wild card.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am the wild card.
Yes, I would agree. Mount Rushmore, community characters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. I miss Community. It's awesome.
Me too.
I think the movie is coming, is what I've seen.
Oh, really?
There's been hints.
Better. It's got to be better than last season.
Yeah, for real. It's been so long. So the thing about me and TV and movies is I feel like I watch something one time and never go back. And so my mind
that's what I know about you is you talk about that other app all the time, but then you don't actually rate your own, consumed media.
Oh yeah, I don't. I've tried.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I've logged into Letterboxd so many times to start rating something, and I'm just like, I don't know what I want to rate this, and I just back out.
Yeah,
like
I watch 2 horror movies a week. I would probably have a genuinely good following on my horror movie reviews, but I'm not putting time or energy into that shit. Like I'm not.
Like I watched Hereditary last weekend. And
incredible movie.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I like Hugh Grant in that character, and yeah.
No, that's Heretic.
What did I say? Oh, I said Hereditary. I meant Heretic.
Okay, I haven't watched Heretic yet.
Yeah, Hugh Grant's a blast in that.
We're just watching Scott Dodds do his job.
Yeah, this is great.
He has us on a
just,
cart as he walks through the factory.
We watched
taking us
Mofo
for a
drive
ride.
for 45 minutes, and now Dodds is.
He's got his
hard hats
PPE on. He's
Yeah.
working hard, hardly working over there. Am I right? But I digress. I've completely lost
Mount
the plot.
Rushmore of community members.
So the problem is, my brain is terrible. So my favorite community characters, Troy, Abed, easily top characters. They were my favorite. Loved those dudes. So Kayleen, close your ears. My third one is easily Annie, just because I really like Allison Brie.
Me too.
And so the sole reason is just big crush during when I was
confirm.
watching, just like, yeah. And then okay, Kayleen, you can open your ears again. And then number 4, shoot. You'd want to say like Pierce.
No.
Because I just thought his character was funny, but then you find out how terrible of a person he was, and it just ruins everything for you. And so I feel like the right answer is Jeff, just because without Jeff, there almost is no show. Like, I mean, without any of the characters, like everyone plays such a, like all of the main characters play such a great part. But like notable mentions, just like the pop dude, like being able to say that all the time in high school was awesome.
I can't remember his name now.
He's
he had something like
dude.
No, he had like Dino or something. Like his name was like Dynamite or something silly like that.
But
I'll figure it out.
Community is so stinking good. Just I rewatched part of it. I say I don't rewatch anything. I tried to get my wife to watch it. She'd never seen it, and we watched the first season. I didn't realize how many of all of the good episodes were just in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first season is just everything. And I was like, what are in these other seasons? Because this one is so good.
Third season is about where things started to kind of branch off.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, Community's great. And I don't know. Let's go Abed, Troy, Annie. And because he's just so freaking weird, we'll ditch Jeff and we'll put Dean Craig Pelton on the Mount Rushmore.
Dean.
He is just the funniest character. Anytime I see Jim Rash in like any other anything, it just breaks my brain because I'm like, he's only one person. So yeah, we'll solidify that as top 4.
Do you have an alien face?
I feel like Chang has to be the alien face just because he is the alien face. So
I would have gone with Leonard just because of all the dope Leonard insults. Shut up, Leonard. You smell like menthol eucalyptus. I say that to people all the time. Shut up. You smell like menthol eucalyptus.
Yeah, there's stuff, man. What a good show.
All right. You want to get into that poop story?
I don't want to get into it, but I can talk about it.
Tell it with your usual gusto.
Yeah, so like...
Let's talk about the one when you were running. That's the one I'm interested in.
How many poop stories got mentioned?
At least 2.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Well, you put one in, and you just said, I have pooped my pants more than you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then the other one was...
yeah, Kayleen put a good one in.
Okay, yeah, that's all the same thing.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't forgetting one. The important one. Well, so I've had many occasions to... So here's the thing, and if you know me, you know I appreciate a few people on the internet, and one of those is Dan Katz. Shout out Dan Katz, Big Cat. And he lives by the motto that every man should have one free get out of jail, I poop my pants card every year. And I fully...
One a year? That's a lot.
Okay, relax.
That is kind of over the average.
Okay, everyone stop.
Stop attacking. Stop attacking
it's
me.
It's completely normal, and if it happens, it happens, all right? But so back into Nathan's running years. I'm like out running by myself one morning, and I don't get very far. The problem with me with running was always I would start running and then just immediately the sensation of needing to go to the bathroom would come on just every time. But that morning it came on, it came on too quickly, and I didn't get far from the house, and I pooped just a small amount in my pants. And I returned home, and I took those underpants off. And as newly married Nathan, who was a child who lived with his parents and immediately got married at a young age and didn't know how to be an adult, took said pooped in pants, set them on the bathroom counter, found a piece of paper, wrote a note, and said, I pooped my pants, pointed an arrow to it, and left it for my wife.
Oh, no.
And so that happens. My wife scolds me. I realize I'm a big dumb idiot. Not a week goes by. This time, my wife and I are out running together. It's early in the morning. We're out for probably maybe a 3-mile run. And so I hate treadmills. So we'd always like run outside on the roads. We're just out wherever. Didn't do a lot of trail running because we would just like leave our house and just find neighborhoods and go through them. And we're about, I don't know, a mile into the run. And I'm just like, man, I've got to go to the bathroom so bad. And in part of the run, there was like this house that had a bunch of trees on the front of it in a somewhat not major road, but like kind of busy road. It's like 6 a.m, but I'm just like, I've got to go. And my wife's like, there's trees right there. Like we're about to run past them. Just go in those trees. It's dark. No one will see you. And I am a rule follower to like the max. Mm-hmm. My dad's a retired police officer. I'm like constantly afraid that he will still find out if I've done anything wrong. And so I was like, if I try to poop in this set of trees and I get caught, I'll be put on a public indecency list. I'll be marked as a sex offender, all because I pooped in the public. I was so scared. And so I was like, I can hold it. I've done this before. We keep running. Another mile goes by and I am like, I have no hope. I am too far gone. And now we're in like sort of more residential area. And I'm like telling Kayleen, like my stomach is just hurting and I am just like trying to push through. And it's like, the only way through it is to run home, right? Like the quickest and best way is to just finish the run because it's a big circle. So it's like, there's no shortcuts. I just have to keep going and I will get back home. And so I just got to push through this, And finally, like, I'm like, I think if I stop running, it'll go away and then I'll be able to pick back up. And so I'm like, Kayleen, I'll meet you back at the house. Like, I've got to work through this on my own. Like, I got to fight my demons. And so I stop and start walking. And
was it the old like clenched leg head down walk?
Yeah, just like cold, but like cold sweats start coming. And I just stop walking. And I'm standing and the sun is like slowly starting to rise at this point. And so, people could probably see. Kayleen's like, you could just like go in someone's yard. I was like, there's like sunshine now. Like there's no options. And I'm wearing like boxer briefs. So it's tight around the bottom. I fill every inch of those boxer briefs. Like it is completely mushy around every part of my leg.
Right.
And it is, because they're boxer briefs, it is all just maintained inside of my pants. And mind you, I'm in the middle of a neighborhood. I'm a mile away from my house. I have no car. I have no way to get home other than I just have to continue on home with my pants full of poop. And so I just start walking in shame, just whoosh, 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 like every step, just feeling it slowly leak out of my boxer briefs down my leg. Like it was the worst feeling.
Pants or you're wearing shorts?
I was wearing shorts.
So there was literal visible poop running down your legs.
Probably, yeah. I don't want to think about it.
No, not probably. Yeah, 1,000,000% there had to have been.
Yeah, we walked by. My wife and I were we out for a walk?
Wave to your neighbors.
We were driving and we were pretty far from my house. But so yeah, we're out there and I'm like walking and I was like, well, if I walk the rest of the way home, it's going to take me forever. So I might as well run. So I just start trying to run as hard as I can to get home because it's like,
oh my God,
stomach feels better. So my pants are just full of poop. I am just trying to run as hard as I can. And I like sprint past my wife and she was like, where are you going? I was like, I pooped my pants. And I just run as fast as possible to get home. And I beat her home at that point.
Yeah.
And so I get home and I am just trying to like I don't know how to get out of this situation because
go get a towel, go to the garage, I
didn't have a garage. We were living in an apartment.
Yeah, that's worse.
It was just like there was nowhere. I was like,
close right into the garbage bag and then like paper towel yourself off and then take a shower. You don't want to put that much shit down the drain.
Yeah, sure. But in the moment, I was just so frustrated, so like heartbroken at the situation. I'm like trying to get these off. And my gracious wife comes home and I am just like, when I'm in it, like I'm in it and I can't, my like sensitivity for people just sometimes just shuts down. And I'm like losing my mind at this point. And my wife's like, what happened? And I was like, I might have been crying. I don't know. But I was just like, this is the worst day of my life. I can't, like, I am just losing my mind on her. And after all of this, I have to get in my car and drive an hour to work. Like, I just
God.
All of this is before I even go to work for the day.
That's a sick day. That is for sure.
And so I clean myself up.
No.
I get
you don't go to
ready
work
to go.
your pants.
And I drive to Cleveland. Like so that was I've been waiting ever since we were like great poop stories. I was like, I have to hold this until not that I could then, but I was like, I have to hold this until I finally get on the podcast and have my opportunity. Like just the cup. I was, and then the best part is I take my underwear off and I'm like to my wife, I was like, do you think we can clean them? And she's like, no. Please go put that in the trash right now. So walking out to the dumpster. But yeah, that's how I poop my pants running. And then, there's been other occasions, but that's the big one.
I think one of the main things that we've realized here is that running makes you poop your pants.
Yeah.
And you should just stick to lifting at this
100%. But here's the problem. I've also pooped my pants while lifting.
Of course. So. Who hasn't? But at least you're home or you're near a bathroom.
Yeah. So.
Keith, you've never pooped your pants?
I'm trying to think. No, I mean, not as an adult. Not that I can.
Wrong again. Keith.
I think I did.
Yeah, there's been at least one time where during a squat, like I get to the bottom and I go, better get this up and just head to the washroom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I definitely finish and,
a little trouser chilly. Just a little trouser chilly.
Like, gotta go.
Mine was always strangely in deadlifts when I feel like I was really struggling. I don't know if it was whatever I would eat before I would do my morning lift or what, but like deadlifts for some reason, getting back. Oh, Scott agrees. But yeah, that would always like the down motion of putting the bar down always just would like it would just launch it out.
For me, it's squat warm-ups. Like, not that I warm up that often, but it's like, it's one of those, I take my pre and then I go downstairs to the gym and it's almost like my wife could set a timer because it would be like within the first 10 minutes, I'd be coming up going, nope, gotta go. It's like, just clear it. Nope. Move everybody out of the way. It's like my body knows. No, you're in the gym. Well, it's time to poop.
So Nate, in hindsight, I'm going to read into a little bit more of how Kaylin posed the story was basically,
who?
If Kayleen, maybe?
Yeah, you're right. Kayleen.
She basically,
Grandpa Dave always said Kayleen like gasoline. There you go. Now you can't forget it.
Basically that, it was pitch black when you first started to have to go, and you kind of refused to just go outside because your biggest fear is getting arrested. So, going back now, if you could replay that morning and know you could just go into the woods, do your business, run back, and be fine and not have any ramifications, would you have done it? Or
no, I had too much of a rule follower, zero chance.
Okay,
just like I for sure, I don't think I could have.
Gotcha.
I could not bring myself to. Mind you, I've peed outside a million times the most,
which is just as illegal. I mean,
yes, but like
penis
for
in your
some
hand
reason,
exposed and like other people could potentially see it as 100%.
But it's so much easier to hide that than it is just dropping trout and squatting. Because as I'll drive by, we'll get a picture of the field that I had the opportunity of. We can even, I think I figured out. We were driving by there last night. I think I figured out the exact house I pooped in front of. We could get a picture of that as well.
God, it had to be in your socks a little bit too. There's no way.
Yeah. Oh no, it had ruined my life. It was. I exclaimed, "This is the worst day of my life."
No, but like, so my biggest, I guess, I Why would you go to work that day? Why couldn't you have just taken a sick day? And
I
just been
don't
like,
take sick days. I don't.
Okay.
I don't do that.
I would have been so pissy at work that I would have I don't know, I'm customer service based. So like if I have that kind of a traumatic event in the morning, I would just know that like I can't be around customers today because I'm gonna get fired for like losing my in my shit, if you will, in front of someone.
Yeah, no, there's one of my favorite songs is All My Friends by Knocked Loose. And in that song,
If you're still knocked.
yeah, it talks about how all of his friends just take all of their problems and shove them deep inside. And that's just me. And how did I get to Cleveland? Well, I just took all the problems and I shoved them deep inside, unlike my poop that was shoved outside. And I just went to work and moved along. Like it just, I don't know, man. I don't ever take sick days, which is probably bad. But yeah, I just push on through.
It's not good, bud.
Yeah. Glazesearch.com.
So we have this game we like to play.
You gotta take a me day every now and then, homie.
Yeah. Nah.
Let's hit him with some unpaid and underrated, or do you have something else?
No, Nate, do you want to explain to your friends and family that just listened to your poop story what game we're about to play?
We're gonna play a game called Unpaid and Underrated. The rules make no sense. We created this game. Keith and Joey created this game. Just follow along and try to figure it out.
It works for me.
I've never listened to this podcast.
Big Nate, unpaid or underrated military time?
Oh, underrated for sure. You know if it's the beginning of the day, you know if it's the end of the day. And
otherwise you would have no clue.
Yeah, there'd literally be no way. And also, if you're a developer and you have to read 24-hour time, it makes it easy when all of your clocks that way. For those that don't know, you'll have to go back and find the episode.
That's why I put this in here. It's my favorite story about you.
Yeah, I've messed up reading it before. I'm not a professional. I'm not Big Grant. I don't do this. I don't do military time. Well, I technically do for a living because I work with those types of dates. But maybe once or twice I've just completely biffed the time and left things before I was supposed to, but we don't need to rehash that.
Well, that's actually so now I wouldn't say like forgive's not the right word, but like now I'm glad and proud of you for embracing that because you don't take sick times, you just mess up military time, so that's how you get a little vacation built into your that's your body's way of saying like, all right, I need a break. I should actually use my vacation.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
All right, unpaid or underrated. Doing laundry while recording a podcast 10 feet away.
Underrated for sure. Shout out to Kayleen, who once when we were early in recording came downstairs and was like, can I start the laundry machine while you're recording this podcast? And not so graciously, I was like, absolutely not. And she was very mad at me because I did not handle that well. And I apologize again, Kayleen, because it was not a good husband moment. But I was under a lot of stress, man. I was trying to launch this very successful podcast, but no excuses. Very successful. Many people. I've never listened to it, but I've heard it's successful.
Nice. Unpaid or underrated. This one might get confusing because the way it's worded, but so unpaid or underrated, not meeting Keith in person. It's a brain.
Oh, it's too many double negatives.
I know, right?
Not meeting. So the act of not meeting Keith in person. I mean, I would say it's underrated. Because actively Keith.
That means I think it's unpaid.
It just say meeting Keith in person. Like, oh my god.
Meeting Keith in person, overrated. Not even unpaid.
So he hasn't. So he can't rate it. So he has to be able to. He
you can guys only, still haven't met?
No, he's only
Keith
allowed.
Refuses. No. Listen. Let's sit here.
I was so tired, dude. I was out. We were out until like 1 o'clock in the.
Keith has a night.
That was the night I almost died of hypothermia in Columbus.
Our friends would drive by our house and stop at them.
I literally needed to be home. But next time. Well, you're invited to my birthday lift party, June 14th. So everyone's invited.
Yeah.
Actually, I think one of my friends was texting me. She got a plane ticket for just coming out from Colorado. So if one of my friends can fly out from Colorado, I mean, I don't know, you guys.
Yeah, if one of my friends could literally drive through the 10 minutes off the expressway of where I live, but not stop.
I was very, very tired.
So was I.
That's okay.
I had a
6-hour drive on top of that after
you know what,
what
Keith?
would have been our
You know what,
encounter.
Keith? I had other New Yorkers. It's such a big state. I went and found other New Yorkers. I had them over, and they were real New Yorkers. They were from the city. They were from the real city of New York. I had them over in the morning, and I replaced you.
State.
I replaced you, Keith.
They're not even part of my state. I don't even.
They are part of. They're very much. They're the most part of your state.
Don't even acknowledge them. They don't exist.
Wow. Okay. Was that 3 or 2?
Yep, that was all 3. I don't care what all you do. Just make sure you do the bottom one because that's gonna be good for stories.
I know. It's why
Joey's done this before.
Yeah,
100 times.
The way you spelled it blew my mind, but that's
because I spelled it with the Canadian spelling. Calm down. Unpaid or underrated? Relient K.
Oh, dude, I was just listening to those homies. Literally this afternoon with my son, or this evening with my son after we were cleaning up dinner. Love those dudes. Matt Thiessen's a baller. Matt Hoops is awesome. Love 1984. Is that his pedal company? I don't even know. Yeah, those dudes, they're great. Also, for those that don't know what that is, it's not the car. It's not spelled like the car. They're a pop punk band, I guess, or it's 1981 Inventions is his company, Matt Hoops. But yeah, shout out to Barb and Tim. I was raised in a conservative Christian household. I was raised on only Chris Tomlin potentially for a very long time, and then I started to branch out and find other music. In Relient Case, back then was a Christian band for whatever that meant in the early 2000s, as were like every band pretty much. But like I found those guys, and they were a long spiral into Nathan finding like metal music. But like Relient K has a very warm place in my heart. Love that band. My dad, their Forget Not Slow Down album, I was on the pre-order for it. And I was like on the level where I got a giant poster of like the album artwork, which was like some cool painting. I think Matt Thiessen's family did, maybe. I don't remember. But very like small, almost that you can't see it, are all the names of the people that backed that pre-order for that album. And on there is my name on that poster. And I had it for years, and I could never find my name because there were so many names on it. And I finally found my name, and I put a piece of tape under it, and I hung it in my bedroom. And I think when I got married, I left it hanging in that room. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it is now because my dad's moved offices, but at one point, my dad just had that. My dad's, other than through me, has never listened to Relient K, but he had hung that poster in his office. And people would always be like, who's Relient K? He's like, I don't know, my son's name's on it. That's cool. Like, it's just like giant poster. Relient K, Forget Not Slow Down album artwork. My son's name's on it. I don't know who Relient K is though, but yeah. So Relient K, they're awesome. I've seen them a ton of times. Yeah, they're great. Love those dudes. Good music. Good fun music.
Unpaid or underrated? The Canadian Parliament building.
Oh, dude. Man, I feel like I might have talked about this on the podcast in the past, but I don't know. In high school, I was a part of this thing called the Funk Band. We went by Defunct. I played rhythm guitar for them. And it was our like band director's hobby project. Like we had, like a symphonic band that's like standard, like concert band sort of thing. We had a jazz band. And then like, I don't know, for shortly after he started this thing called Funk Band. It was an audition group, and we'd play like old Motown pieces, like funk music and stuff like that. Super fun. Opened my mind to like a whole different style of music that really, I mean, that's the reason I was in Brooklyn to see Wolfpack. Like, if it wasn't for David Scalise doing Defunct, like I wouldn't have an appreciation for so much music that I do now. So shout out to David, who will probably never hear this. But pivotal man in my music life also because we're doing shout out to Julie Strebler, who will also never listen to this, but choir teacher. She's very instrumental in my musician life. But all that to say, we're doing this funk group, and we play around sometimes, like get random shows. We do stuff at the school, but we're just playing covers, and we booked a show with this like rock orchestra up in Cleveland at one point called like the Lakewood Orchestra, and it was like violin rock orchestra thing, and we do this like collab show, and it goes off all right. There's a recording out there somewhere, I think, and that no one should find because nostalgia is great until you see yourself as a high school kid playing music with other people, and I was like, this is bad. All of this music is rushed. That my right hand is terrible. But so we do that, and then somehow after that, our band director finds a school in Canada that is doing like the same funk band group thing that we were doing, and somehow orchestrated that he would just take all of us to Canada for like a week.
Seems cheap.
To just hang out with this band, and I think we played like one show with him, and it was the craziest thing in the world. Just like, hey kids, we're gonna drive to Canada, and we were supposed to play at like a tulip festival or something, and it fell through. So instead of that, somehow we landed just setting up all of our gear, and we just played in front of the Canadian Parliament building. Like we played like a whole hour show just on the stairs. There's pictures of them somewhere of me, like just there's the Parliament building, and then there's Nathan Eckberg and the rest of the funk group, like just playing. And we're like playing, doing our thing, like, hey, we're from America. We've come to give you music. And 100, all this sparkling water is making me burpy. Like 100 yards the other direction is just some like Vietnamese or like some immigrant-esque style protest is going on of a bunch of like minority people who are being, something bad has happened to them and they're upset about it. Don't know what or who or what, like just, but like large group of people are just protesting with like signs and everything, just walking in circles, like yelling. And then there's just little Ohio high school kids playing funk music, like on the stairs of the Parliament building. And it's just like, I love this. This is great. I don't understand anything. Socioeconomic problems of Canada. I don't know. And then it's just, yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, shout out to David for taking us to Canada to play like Earth, Wind and Fire covers. It was awesome. Yeah. So that's been to Canada a few times. That one's probably one of the highlights. Also, speaking of just like Canada concerts, almost got into a fight with a dude a few weeks ago over Canada. So I went and saw Counterparts. Shout out to Hamilton. They're playing in Cleveland, and Counterparts gets up on stage during part of their set. They're like, we're from Hamilton, Canada. And some dude like not too far from me just tries to start a USA chant. And I like almost jumped over a crowd of people and just sucker punched the dude. I was like, this is a show where I can get away with just hitting people. And I'm not a violent person. I don't act out, but I was just like, I was filled with so much rage. I was like, Joey's not at the Arnold because of people like you. And I was like, literally like just rage is just boiling inside of me. And I was like, and then he immediately realized he was dumb and stopped because no one else did. And everyone just stared at him. I was like, okay, cool. All right. Nathan can stand down. Like, but I was ready to just lose my mind on somebody. I was like, I can't do this. Counterparts is good. Stop being dumb.
Why are you here if you're going to do that?
Yeah.
You're not at a Counterparts show and don't know who they are or where they're from.
Yeah. They've been around for so long, but yeah. Great show. Not as good as us in, Canada,
obviously. Yep.
Way better. So much better.
That's funny. I should actually message Connor and see if he was there. Last one, I guess.
Yeah. I'm here. I got nowhere to be, so
yeah.
I'm trying to break a David's record. So
I switched my shifts. I don't have to open tomorrow, so I actually have until 12:30 tomorrow. Oh, look at Scott. Get it over with. Yeah. You host a podcast. All right. Unpaid or underrated? Seeing colors.
Dude, overrated or unpaid or whatever we do. I don't know how this game works. I've listened to 100 episodes. I don't know how any of this works. Okay. Nothing makes sense.
So, oh my gosh. All right. Yep. Somebody big just joined.
Somebody truly the biggest just joined.
He's just pretending to pack that. Nobody ordered that.
No one's ordering from Massonomics. Tanner's in here.
Somebody ordered a hat. That's what happened there.
The best part is, I don't know, Tanner knows we'll have that recording forever. And that makes me really happy. We can use that for so many things.
Scott's running away. He's like, "Fucking, I'm out of here."
Yeah. So this podcast is crazy. But yeah,
that's why I decided to mute all incomers. Like I was like, people are gonna go crazy for the 100th episode, and yeah, we've had a lot of
little looky-loos. I thought we kicked them all out. But yeah, color, I hate it.
So do you as a developer, do you just see color in code?
So shades. My go-to joke is always, technically my eye doctor once told me I'm color deficient, but that's hard to spell. So I just tell people I can't see color. And I don't know how to spell deficient, which might come up later. I don't know. But my guess, well, probably a lot of people wrote about this. My brother's also colorblind, so he might have wrote about it, but I know my friend Mitchell filled out a questionnaire. And the reason he would have filled that out is because in middle school, I guess, Mitchell, Danny, and I, shout out to DanielJohnMitchell.com, we would go to the computer lab, and my friends those two were so fascinated in the fact that I could not see color that they would just, anytime we were in front of computers in school, would inundate me with colorblind tests. And just like to the point where I was just like, guys, I just can't see anything in these tests. Like if you show me the one with the dots, there's like one or two that I'm like, I can see a number. But like 9 times out of 10, I just don't see anything in those tests. And so my friend later tells me, like when we grow up, he's like, it's like, why would you always do that? He's like, I just couldn't believe that you didn't see anything. He's like, it didn't make any sense to me. I was just so amazed by it. And so, yeah, that's probably the key reason that's in there. But yeah, colorblind, I can see colors. Some I just get them mixed up. They're not always right. And Mitchell also, I don't even know if he remembers this, but one time we were driving through Coventry. It was late at night, and it's no cars on the road. It's one of those situations. It's not like super late, but Coventry's not it's not Aberdeen, but it's kind of on the smaller side. And we're driving at night. He's in the passenger seat. No cars. It's dark out. And, the key way that a colorblind person makes sure to differentiate colors on a whatever you call the stoplight is you can see top, bottom, top, middle, bottom. Tanner's really trying to break us. And
yeah, we're all corpsing but you right now.
And so Mitchell and I are driving, and I see, hey, I've got a green light. I keep driving. And I look over at him, or I just look somewhere else and then look back up at the light. And I see a red light. And there's no car, there's literally nothing bad could have happened if I ran that red light. But I freaked out because I'm a rule follower and I don't want to run a red light. And I slam on the brakes, and there's a parking lot at that intersection. So I just pull as hard as possible into the parking lot, and just we get in there, I stop. And my buddy's like, what the heck was that for, dude? And I was like, that light turned red. I just I don't know where it came from. He's like, dude, that light was still yellow. And it was just, that's what happens. I see color. I just get them mixed up. And sometimes it involves me thinking I'm going to die at a red light and it's yellow and there's no cars on the road and I could have kept driving. But yeah, it is what it is.
So underrated?
Sure. I don't know how this game works.
I don't think now
I'm just here to talk. I'm just here to answer questions.
Now I'm second guessing anytime I brought up so I think when you were making something with like an orange background. I was like, that's not the right orange. And then you had to send me like So like when someone tells you something's not the right color, you just like you have to go off of like a serial number or something because you
it's
can't
like I said, he goes off
respectively.
code. Because
Hex codes, man. I'm AI,
sent him
dude.
a
What do you
message.
think I use?
Yeah.
Somebody
And then
literally sent him a message and was like, "What's the orange code that you use?" And he had it within seconds.
I don't think I ever answered that text. Let me know if you still need that.
Oh no, it was. I think Kim wanted to know what the red.
Yeah, he wanted to know the
red
red
on our website. Yeah, I never got back to him on that.
Yeah, neither did I.
I'll see him at Lift Hard, so we'll figure it.
Yeah, we'll work that all out.
But yeah, I don't think I knew you were. Has that ever come up in our group chat? I don't think.
No,
I knew that you
not once.
Because it threw me off when I read it this afternoon. I was like,
no. The third story is my buddies, Mitchell and Danny, for my wedding wanted to buy me like the Enchroma glasses. They're like, you could see that way, like you could have your wedding in color and like you could see your wife for the first time. Like they're like, you could really see her red hair finally for what it really is.
Yeah, what does her hair look like to you?
Red. Wow. That's the thing. Like people, I don't know.
It looks red, but maybe not the depth of red we would see.
Yeah, and what's really color, man? Like, I don't know. Like, people always like, what do you see? It's like, I see what I see. I don't know, man. Like, I just get stuff mixed up sometimes.
Because it would be hard for you to describe what you can't see. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that doesn't...
100%.
That would be very hard
more effort in his video than I've ever put into anything in my life.
They're both just going ham right now.
Yeah, there's a podcast going on, and then there's Scott and Tanner just hanging out also.
And the annoying thing is it's only an inch big on my screen because no matter what I do, I can't make it bigger.
So
yeah,
I think
I've had that problem before. Roman Sparks, use Roman Sparks code unpaid for longer erections.
Use what is it, like something goat weed? Use the Russian goat weed or whatever.
Oh, well, Vasoblitz is also another good option.
Hims.com.
Yeah, Hims, you can use code unpaid.
Or
look at all the sponsorships.
If you go to shims.com, you can see Big Paul's.
Well, I think you passed unpaid and underrated. And
good, because I still don't know how it works.
That's okay. Most of us don't anymore.
Very few do. And this is where, this is where you make or break if this is going to be a PR episode of do you have anything for us, bud? Any games or questions you want to turn around and hit the host with? Did I just freeze?
No, I'm just dying thinking he's going to say no, and we're going to end it, and it's going to be fucking great.
That's the best ever. I don't care. So we have, we got some sponsors, we got some affiliates here we're going to hit you with.
So I have a few things.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to get shit here.
We'd have to go a half hour.
Pardon my language.
Yeah, I've definitely F-bombed once or twice, sorry.
So I have a few things. And I was really trying to work on like some really complex games with a lot of good jokes. And I couldn't get anything good.
Seems like.
And then I remembered, guys, you know what I do on a weekly basis is I prepare stuff for Unpaid and Underrated. Mm-hmm. And so, daggone it, I did it again. So I got some questions for you guys. If you could have, I do want to know this, and I don't know, we've probably, at this point, every question that's been asked has already been asked, so whatever.
We probably answer it differently at this point, too.
If you guys could only have one guest from Massonomics on Unpaid and Underrated, who would it be? So one Massonomics guest, one person that's been on Massonomics, if we could interview them on our podcast, who would it be?
I booked them, so I'm not going to say anything.
To me, sorry.
Oh, no, I'm going to have a ton of fun with that. That's going to be... I'm going to make sure I'm not working the next day. It's going to be just stupid and fun. And, but I also feel like so far nobody has been inaccessible.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get
at. I got Siri, I got Jonathan.
That's
I'm pushing for Meg squats. But I think that they want her first, and she's not answering me. So I think once they get her, then we might get her because she is supporting member, right? So I am trying to poke at that. Whoa! Spoiler!
New sticker. He's having so much fun.
I know.
People should tune into our podcast. Maybe we should start maybe we should start posting a live in like the regular chat.
But yeah, I think the one that I haven't already got that I really want to get, I'm going to have on in like 3 weeks anyway. So But yeah, Meg Squats is the other one.
I have a hard time answering that
Meg would be
because
fun.
I want the podcast to be crew centric for the most part, personally.
Meg is crew.
No. I'm talking about if I'm having to, I'm not talking about your answer. I'm talking about my answer. Like they've had literally hundreds and hundreds of guests on. So like to play into his
Julian Pinot.
Jesus Christ, no. Yeah, I'd rather have Big Tyler on again. I don't know.
Tanner gives a thumbs up. Yeah, get Julian.
To what you said, basically, like I could get. I don't know, like the bunch of people that are crew that are just like crew, just to like but aren't in Discord. Like they wouldn't really. I don't know. Like I know I could get Brandon or Gluck on like next week if I wanted to, but I don't think they want to be on our podcast. I don't want to bug them. So it's not that I can't get them on. It's just I don't think they'd have as much fun as we'd want them to have, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't want to just feel like I'm bugging them. Like, but like I know I could get them on. They're like I literally talk to them like on a weekly basis. And I would have a hard time getting people on that aren't crew personally. But who I would want to interview like in a. If you take this podcast out of it and just be someone that I'd want to interview, I don't know. Ed Cohn would be cool to talk to.
Let's land him. Book him.
Some strong man. I don't know. Another spoiler sticker. I don't know.
No, that wasn't a sticker. That was a pin.
That was a pin.
They've never had. Have they ever had Magnus Magnuson on? I don't think they have they? I can't recall.
They probably can't figure out the technology.
Yeah,
they don't have the internet over there.
I'd like to talk to Magnus. That'd be cool. I don't know. Good question, but hard to answer because I'm too close to unpaid and underrated to like, because it means something different to me than like just having a random conversation with someone famous.
Yeah. Imagine going to Ed Cohen and be like, hey, can you send this questionnaire to all your close friends?
Well, I think the hardest one I think Grant
pull a knife.
might be because it did help though. That does having the questionnaire will help when we do the bigger episodes, like with episodes with people that like aren't really in it, kind of thing. Because I remember like on the OK podcast they were talking about it, how like Grant's buddies were like, yeah, they sent me all these.
Jeff,
really, yeah, he like professional thing, and then Grant proceeds to like f up our podcast name like every single time he references it, and I'm just like, God damn it, Grant, come on.
He's not a professional, man. You can't blame him.
Good question.
Hey, he's a pastor's kid. He's a homeschool. Okay, Grant, you're a homeschool pastor kid. You don't know what a Nephilim is. Forget it. You're not a professional.
Giant.
Kaz knows. Kaz, he's a strong man. He knows what the Nephilim is.
Yes, 100 you and you. Oh, they do look like smiley faces.
That's good stuff.
All right, Joey. Question for you.
Hit me.
Would you rather only, and this is one that my memory is shoddy and I can't remember what Joey likes and dislikes sometimes. So would you rather only listen to the Eagles forever?
Oh, fuck.
Or only drink hop water forever?
Do I get to pick the Eagles songs?
I guess.
Eagles.
Okay.
If the answer was no, I'd go hop water. If I get to pick,
shuffle it.
Yeah, if I get to pick like the same 3 songs, and then like every once in a while I'll shuffle the greatest hits or something, I would take that. Hop water was disgusting, but
I was like, I think Joey hated hop water, but I've had conversations with people recently where they've really liked them, and it's tainted my memory of being like, did Joey like that? Did Joey not like that? I'm not doing the research to figure it out.
No, the Eagles suck a lot. Yeah, thank you, Dodds. Tanner hit us with an okay bye, which is perfect.
Yeah, this is great. I think, we can go. The Eagles are playing the Sphere in Las Vegas if you want to go.
Nope.
Thank you. The human sphere?
Huh?
The human sphere?
The human sphere?
The public sphere is the joke he was trying to make.
Oh, yeah. If we just would get our jokes right, it'd be a lot funnier.
Well, like when I misspelled the word earlier, trying to be funny. Yeah, it didn't land.
Yeah. No, like the crazy sphere. Yeah, the Eagles are playing there. Somebody mentioned that today, and I was like, oh, I should get Joey tickets.
I didn't know they like got back together. I thought that was like.
I hope everybody there has fun.
The sphere is crazy, so there's the potential.
Yeah.
Like, it would blow my mind. All right, Keith, you ready for your question I've prepared for you? Oh my gosh, standard admission is $396.33.
Nope.
You asking me a question? I'm not that hard to.
I was looking at how expensive Eagles tickets were. If I could buy them.
He's Googling shit while he's asking you other questions.
Yeah,
I know.
Welcome to the life of a developer. Would you rather
Landman
never see the color orange, or never be able to use the color orange again?
Oh,
never be able to see it, I guess, because I am, contrary to my 4th of July or April Fool's post, I am the orange man. It's like there's a handful of other like home gym, people that have the colors or theme, but like I don't know. I'm definitely on the Mount Rushmore of like, people with under a couple thousand followers that like the color orange. So, and are on Instagram and Lyft. So, yeah, as much as I love seeing it, I love being known for it. I guess I love having an identity tied to something, I guess, bigger than me.
There you go. The orange.
The orange glaze.
It's greater than Keith.
And you can't even see it.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know. Whatever. What is
Maybe
color?
You can.
Red adjacent.
All right. Yeah. Well, so you guys want another colorblind story while we're talking about color? No? Okay.
As long as... Is it funny?
Short? It's short. I once failed an art class project because I painted the flower a wrong color. I believe at that point... And I went to the teacher and I was like, I'm colorblind. And she was like, you have to redo this. And I was like, and I never took an art class again. Like it broke my soul.
That's frustrating.
I was terrified to ever do art again. So yeah, shout out to Mrs. whoever that was that ruined my life and my potential art career. Yeah.
Probably listening.
No.
Yeah.
No. Sheridan? Maybe? I don't know. Yeah. I didn't like getting Fs. I was very much... I have to have A's in my class, and that one broke my soul.
That would piss me right off.
Yeah. But, all right.
You got time for 2 more?
Well, I don't have 2 more stories. You want 2 more colorblind stories?
Question.
No.
So I have one more thing.
Okay.
And when we were... I always hated when this happened to me. So we're all going to do it. Shout out to Mike Duma. When Kayleen and I were first married,
first time?
When we collectively got together with a group of a lot of very newly married couples at our church. And Mike Duma kind of led the charge. But many times at the end of our, when we'd hang out, he'd be like, all right, we're going to go around and everyone has to say what they love about their spouse. And it was always just the weird,
that is weird.
It would take everyone off guard.
Yeah,
and it'd be
what are you thankful for Thanksgiving thing?
Yeah. So I was like, what do we do? Unpaid and Underrated is such a touchy feely podcast. What are some games we can play? So I was just like, let's just go around the horn and all of us can say what we love about each other. Because we like to cry, we like to be emotional, we like to get in our feels, we like to be fired up about people coming at us, taking our kids to restaurants. We like all of the feelings. So I'll go first so you guys can think, and I'm just gonna shower you guys with love. I don't know if it was in my thing, but one of my favorite things to do, I like encouraging people. I like telling people I like them and things I like about them. So we're gonna do this. And really this is so that I get to hear things that you like about me. But not really. I had things in my head that I was planning to say. I didn't write them down, and now I'm drawing a blank on everything, which is terrible. Daggone it. I was literally putting my kid to bed last night, and I was like, I've got everything. Here's everything I love about Keith. Here's everything I love about Joey. Freaking heck. Keith, go first while I think about this. I'm so upset right now. I've drawn a complete blank. Mother cusser.
Nate's not motivate, your ability to throw yourself at something I can relate to. So it's always nice to see yourself and some, that's, to have things in common with your friends. So your passion and maybe even ticks to have to complete something, if you will, as you've commented on, I can see a lot of that in myself as well. So I like seeing that. You're both family men, so I can admire that. Even though I'm enjoying my dink life, I don't, I'm not opposed to people having their own kids and enjoying their life and doing their own thing. So
it's good. Appreciate that.
And we all, the fact that we all set aside, 2 to 6 hours a week or whatever on average, give or take, multiple hours a week to produce this and put this out, and for literally our own consumption and for our friends. Not a lot of people that can put the effort in that we do here. So I know those aren't personality traits, but you're throwing me a curveball at 11:30 at night. I don't have a whole. This is one of those ones where you give me a week and I might come up with something, but you give me 5 minutes, it's like,
No, it's more fun off the top of the head because
I haven't thought about you guys like that all that much.
That's okay.
I haven't. I mean,
I appreciate that. You haven't thought about anything that you've liked about us. I see it. Just saying.
I haven't deleted the group chat. Just muted it.
Yeah. I think I got some of my ideas back. Joey, how I love thee. Let me count the ways. I should have written poems. That would have been good. No, I was thinking about Joey, and I feel like I was like thinking about like what do I think about when I think about Joey, when I think about Keith? And as much as Joey says, "Oh, I don't like people, customer service, I don't want to interact with people," Joey cares for people in a very passionate way. He cares about people. He cares about what happens to people, even though he gets frustrated with people and might not like customer service. There are just like messages I get from Joey about like things that are happening. And he's like, I don't like that this happened to a person. That's true. As much as Joey might not like people, he cares about people a heck ton amount. And don't let him lie to you and be like, oh, nah, I'm a strong man and I want to hide in my basement. He likes people. He loves them. He cares for them. And don't let him lie to you. And Keith, I don't love anything about. I hate you. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever gets us.
But and I guess it's like we see this in each other, but no one commits to anything more than Keith does. No one is more sold out on anything they do than Keith is. He is a man that just locks in on things, and as much as sometimes it drives me absolutely insane the way he does these things, and I love to mock him about him, I love the way that when he's going to do something, he just does it. And he does it 100%. And I think it's great. Keith, he needs a laptop for the podcast. Well, this might be the one thing he doesn't do. I can get a new laptop. But
get a new laptop.
The wife wants to go shopping this weekend, and I was like, dude, I don't want to drop $2,000 because if I buy the Apple one, I got to buy the one with like the biggest hard drive.
No, you don't.
No, I personally, I want that because I don't want to spend $1,500 on a computer when I can spend $2,000 and get one with an actual SS, like a large, like
sidebar. Take this offline. If you're gonna buy a Mac, Joey and I'll give you some recommendations. I think there's some good ways to do that.
Yeah, I think she wants to go to the Apple Store Saturday.
Well, I would.
My computer did survive.
Go to Costco.
Like, that sound, that video I sent last night, like it somehow, like I let it sit for an hour and turned it back on and it was quiet and it ran perfectly tonight, thankfully. So yay.
M3 MacBook Air refurbished off Apple's website. You'd be fine with 16 gigs of RAM, get the terabyte storage.
Yeah, that's why
probably no more than $1,500 if you get the refurbed M3 off. You don't need an M4 you'd be fine. That's my recommendation.
And an Apple refinished, we don't say refurbished, we say refinished, is everything is almost brand new except for the processor.
Yeah.
So they'll
like
replace
they put
the
a new
battery
and everything.
Yeah. The housing is new. You don't have any.
I'll have to figure that out.
I'll figure it out for you.
Yep. Just
whatever makes this easier for all of us.
Just DM Stephanie what she needs to buy me. Like that honestly will be literally she's so impulsive and will just like spend money like no other. You just send her a link, she'll click it and drop $2,000, no issue.
Oh, so this is who we should have been talking to.
Yeah, no,
we
for sure.
keep yelling at Keith. We should have just been. I'm just gonna start sending her stuff. Will she buy things for me? There's a lot of things I need.
She spends a lot of money on random people that she knows, and I'm like,
oh, good. That's great to hear.
She is the most giving person I know in the world. So
there you go.
I feel like I'm sorry I wish I could come up with more. You're both good dudes. I don't.
You're half
I'll
asleep.
Take that.
We can tell.
I'll take that. Joey, you don't have to say anything nice about us. You don't have to like us if you don't want to. You can keep up that facade that you hate us.
I just want to say nobody.
You like to hide in the basement, yada yada.
I don't. In my defense, yeah, I don't like people, but it's a lot of the time it's because I see people do things that are counterproductive to their best interests, and that frustrates me. If you're coming to me as an expert in customer service, you're walking up to me, you paid money to walk in the door to talk to me, and you ask me questions, and I go, oh yeah, here's your best thing. And you go, well, that's stupid. Well, like, then why did you come to me? Like, it's so frustrating. Like, I don't understand that. And you are right. Like, I want the best for people from over there. Like, I want you to live happy, and I want you to live healthy and safe and feel loved and comfortable fucking over there. Pardon my language. Oh yeah, I dropped the first one, sorry. Over there.
I think I did it earlier.
Yeah,
Nate's got some editing to do.
That's in my defense. I was gonna say this earlier in the chat, but I thought it would be weird, and I don't think I can like select both of you. I love that I talk to you guys every day. Like, genuinely at this point, you know, I said, I typed it out and then I deleted it. And it's funny that you bring this up. I don't think we do this for business because none of us are making money here. I'm
making millions.
I do this because we're friends.
Millions of like artificial money.
Yeah.
In your artificial world. I
think we do this because we're friends and we care about the end result. And I don't think I think, like, you know, anybody could have done this. Even Tanner said that at some point, but he's glad that we did it. Right? Or something along those lines. Or like, you know, if anybody could have done this, it would have been us. And yeah, this is no longer a business transaction. Like, we update each other on our lives.
No, yeah.
I talk to you guys as much as I talk to my wife. And it's really good to know that, like, even if you don't answer, I know you're there.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that about both of you. You know, Keith in particular, dude, I've been to your house. I surprised you with my kids. Like, I just stormed into your gym with my children.
You did.
Right? You know, me and Nate hung out at the entire Arnold. Like, we just followed each other around and had so much fun. And I just don't, you know, I don't see that happening with a lot of other people in my life, but you know, I'm glad it's you guys.
Aww. All right, well, I'm gonna go cry.
Anyway, we have this game we like to play. Yeah. Keith is half asleep. I'm
sorry. No, I wish I had a better answer for that. I feel like I'm neglecting people's feelings by not being able to like articulate anything. But yeah.
No, it's
only our 100th episode, Keith. Don't try to make it special or anything.
So tune in 4 or 5 weeks for our...
And Keith will have some great answers prepared. It'll actually be... The whole episode is just going to be Keith telling us what he likes about us. That's the
just shower us with love.
Yeah, that's what I need.
I'm just going to throw it up on Instagram of tell people what they like about us and just, regurgitate that as my ideas towards everyone.
Stroke our egos.
Yep. All right. I think we're good to bring this in, boys. What do you think?
Nathan's here. What the fuck?
Which
just says Nathan's iPhone 15. Did I miss Joey?
It's probably Nate Green, maybe.
Yeah. Did I miss Joey eating
100 nuggets?
Oh, we didn't even get to talk about that.
Oh, it's Nate Green. Hey, buddy.
I did 76 nuggets in one sitting. That killed me.
That's so many. Why?
That's like 76 nuggets. They got to be like what, 3 ounces a piece. So
I can tell. Like, I did.
It's 2 pounds of nuggets or 3 pounds of nuggets, isn't it?
There's an Instagram highlight. If you wanna go back and see a crazy version of me, follow me on Instagram. I don't post anything but tragedy memes anymore. But
I forgot about
that is. Can I do like my least favorite thing about you is when you made like 9/11, like because you were too young to have 9/11 mean anything to you. I feel
it's not true. I remember it vividly.
He was also too young to know how the Edmund Fitzgerald would feel. So
yeah, don't tell me how I can feel, Keith. Don't tell me how to have my feelings. Okay. It was 76 total nuggets. It was 3,496 calories, 182 grams of protein, 205 gram total carbs, and 220 grams of fat.
How much was the sodium?
Low protein.
I don't know. I just pulled the macros out of it. I've never felt so bad in my life.
Oh, I imagine.
Oh my god!
I mean,
the story highlight. We did a chicken nugget eating contest.
The night before you shit your pants.
No, way after that happened. Not that time. But so I did this we did like a chicken nugget eating contest. The next person stopped at 50, but I wanted to eat every nugget I bought just as like
of course.
I did it. And my son ate 4 of the 80 that we bought. And so I just ate the rest of them.
Were they McNuggets?
Yes. I felt
those are the worst. Those are literally the worst nuggets.
But I got them for like $20 or something. I got them like super cheap.
They're the worst flavor. Like Wendy's.
Listen, if I had my druthers, I would have went and bought Chick-fil-A nuggets, but I don't have money for that. Like
that would have been like $300.
Yeah, exactly. So I got what I got. But the funny part is real backstory on Nathan. So like a few days after that, I have a doctor's appointment to get like blood work and a physical done.
Mm-hmm.
And the blood work comes back. My liver, one of my liver thingy
enzymes
is elevated. I don't know if it was necessarily. It was, something in my liver was wrong, and the doctor came back and was like, "Hey, like your liver's screwed up." And I like looked them dead in the face and was just like, so here's the thing. A few days before I did this blood test, I ate like 76 nuggets in one sitting. Could that affect the results at all? Just putting that out there. And she was like, no. And I was like, all right, because that didn't happen. But just like hypothetically.
Rhetorically, yeah. Hypothetically, if I ate 76 nuggets yesterday.
Would that have skewed these numbers at all? But yeah, it turns out I have a rare genetic deficiency where my body doesn't know how to get rid of iron. So yeah, that's why.
Neat.
So you won't sell any old gym equipment then?
No, yeah, that's exactly it. There it is. There's the joke.
Just your time with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they have to bleed me out to get rid of my iron. It's awesome. I love it.
Oh, that's the old bloodletting.
Yes, it's hilarious, but it's the only way to solve it. So they just bloodlet me.
So if we milk this for another like 4 minutes, we can hit a PR. So you want to?
God, just hit the ad reads.
I've got one story we didn't hit that we've got to hit.
Nar. We're all talking. Well, I'm
under 2 minutes. If you have a 2-minute story, because I can milk the ad reads. All right, under 2 minutes.
High school Nathan, big emo kid, loved poetry. We did a poetry. We did a poetry recitation competition in my high school. I made it to states.
Is recitation reciting? Is
yes.
that weird?
Yes. I know where this story is going.
Recitation is not a word I've never.
Let him go. Let him recitate this.
So I drive down to Columbus and I go to compete in this statewide competition. I read this poem. You can look it up. I recited 3 poems. They're supposed to be for memorization. You're judged on like how well you perform, all of this stuff, yada yada. People, whatever. I didn't win. Spoiler. But one of the poems I read was Domestic Situation by Ernest Hilbert. And the opening is, maybe you've heard about this, maybe not. A man came home and chucked his girlfriend's cat in the wood chipper. This really happened. Dinner wasn't ready on time. Craziest poem. No one else was reading poems like this at this competition. I was like, when I was looking through the list of approved poems, I was like, what's the just most insane thing I could find? Found that. So it's a crazy poem. Read it. But all that happens. I'm like, this whole competition's crazy. It was like 3 hours of just listening to people recite the same poems over and over. No one wanted to touch my crazy poems.
That's literally this episode.
Yeah. And so all that happens. A year goes by. Senior year of high school. I'm sitting in AP English. And my teacher's like, hey, we're doing the poetry reciting thing that you guys did last year. I've got new flyers for it. And Nathan's on it. He made like the poster out of like all the, there were tons of people that had made the poster or had been at the competition. And for some reason, the picture of me was on the poster. And so she hands out the poster to everyone in the class. And we're sitting there. And my buddy Logan just goes, yo, Nathan, why do you have a boner? And just the picture is of me on the stage, like standing at the mic. And my pants are folded in a way that just looks as if I was the most excited to read a poem. And mind you, he said that just in front of the teacher. The whole class erupts. These flyers go to everyone in the school. Everyone, presumably, every school in the presumably state of Ohio. And it's just Nathan and his pants. And so, yeah, that was my traumatic childhood experience. But then, so I think I have some literally next to my desk here. I've got a picture of it. I'll send it in the Discord. Y'all can see it. But I took it to like the meat place that I worked in, the one of the butchers at the time went through and like cut me out of that and just like taped it to the one of the things, and like we're taping the other people's faces like around. It was a whole thing. But yeah, I was signing it and giving it out to people at one point. It was
like that's what I do with like pictures to make memes. Like that's hysterical that he did like a physical version.
Oh, that was before memes existed.
No, I know, I get it, but it's funny to think that like memes have evolved from like more effort.
Yeah, it was like we were just cutting things. We were cutting and pasting literal paper to make memes back in the day.
Since you said copy and paste, so my buddy.
I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna bring up a story of my past that was crazy. And
segue to like it's like a 30-second thing. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and Nice Like Mike said he was referring to copy and paste, but he said copy and pasta, and I thought he had a stroke, and I had to like DM him. He said that's like normal like lingo and tech to say
copy pasta.
Never heard that.
Yeah, there's a website.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Don't understand it. Is it just because it's like looks the same? Like I don't. Is it a joke? I don't get it. It's over my head. It's so confused. It's one of those things I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yep.
Now you know.
Yeah. That's an internet thing. Now you know.
Copy chicken parm. Do you want the Wikipedia article?
I'm good.
No,
but I'm gonna hit you with some affiliates because we hit 3 hours as long as you roll it from our cold open. So Obsidian Ammonia, Barbell Rescue, Plate Snacks, Home Gym Con, Belt Fed Strength, Freedom Fitness Equipment, and apparel from the Strength Co. Code Unpaid will save you a little bit of money, and maybe Nate can finally figure out that speedboat so he can come visit Joey and I. And Big Nate, where are they gonna find you at?
In your text messages, you now have a picture of me from the poster.
Oh hell yeah! Nate Boner's in my text messages,
and a picture of me on the Ohio and the Canadian Parliament stairs.
Oh my God! You definitely have a boner in this picture.
You're leaning. It doesn't help that you're leaning back.
Yeah, like it looks like you're sumo deadlifting and just like trying to make up for the shoulder room.
You are like pelvis thrusting a lockout of like when I talking to someone like that's new to deadlifting, I'm like you F forward like that.
Yeah, that's a cheater lockout for sure.
Yeah. So there you go. There's the picture.
You have this, like dead stare in your eyes. Oh my God.
Well,
I'm gonna do some copy. I'm gonna do some good memeing with that, buddy.
I have maybe we'll get it to I think I have some of the original flyers. Maybe we'll get those to Tanner and they can do something.
That's a sticker I've ever seen.
Yeah, the Nate Boner sticker.
Yeah.
Code Unpaid Plate Snacks.
Yeah.
All right. What websites do they got to go look to find us?
Oh, you can find me all over. EckbergSolutions.com. That'll be a thing soon. StrongmanScoreboard.com. That's probably going to be a thing or something like that. GlazeSearch.com. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on GitHub. You can find me on X, I guess. You can find me on.
Did that just sell, or was it a fake?
XAI bot X. So it's literally just moving money around, I think. So yeah, I don't think it's old. Yeah, you know where to find me. If you can't find me, go to unpaidinternpodcast.com /100, I think, is how our things work. And you can find the episode show notes. There will be links to my socials in those show notes. You click on them, you can follow me, you can subscribe to Strongman Scoreboard. Do you want my kids to starve? If you don't, subscribe.
I mean,
that's all I have to say.
I think you want them to starve. You ate 87 nuggets, only
76. Get it right. Okay. And Theo had 4 of them, and Jude didn't. Jude was too little to eat them at that time. I don't really know.
You could have chewed them with your mouth and spit them. You could.
That would not have. That's not how eating competitions work, Keith. That's just not how that works.
You could have earned that. Like, you're such a good dad comment you got.
Where can we find feet pics? Oh, that's on Ryan's feed.
Oh yeah,
he posted those free piggies.
Where you at, Joey?
Is this where I go back to the voice from the beginning of the episode?
I forget what my character was at the beginning, so
it was 3 hours. It was literally yesterday. It is 11:36 at night or something.
I go back to the original. Find me at Joey_Malesko, MLECZKO. Probably not find me on any other things, not GitHub, not Pornhub, not any of those hubs. Don't look me up anywhere else.
Keith Honeycutt 73 on Instagram. More importantly, go follow my Orange Gym, and we'll see you next Tuesday. We just watched Scott work half a shift.
We did. And Tanner flashing us all of the stuff that's not released, knowing we won't talk about it.
Yeah.
But trying to get me trying to tell stories while all that's happening, I'm just like, I just have to make eye contact with myself in the computer. Don't break.
He's like, check out this product, and it's like,
wait, what was Ryan's? When I looked, Ryan's name just said Orion. Is that the joke?
No, it's Arian. It's Arian.
Oh, well, that's not how you spell that, but yeah.
It literally is how you spell that.
I thought it was like Arien.
Aryan.
Arian, I didn't know that's how you spelled Aryan Nation, but
Nate were just like, no.
I literally just saw it as Arian, so that makes sense to.
Well, there's a football player named like Arian Foster, so it's not the end of the world.
No, but it was pretty.
But it's very funny that he did it by accident, and then he was like, "Oh no, oh no!"
We just mocked the shit out of him for it.
So there's 2 YouTube videos. One Mitchell put in the
Yeah, you sent us something funny of you running around.
Oh, there's also we didn't even talk about the llama video.
I couldn't even remember that clip.
I'll put all these things in the chat.
Just make your own content. Just do your own content this week. You can control. You have unpaid.
Well, I'm not putting any of this out in the world. But I'm sending you embarrassing things that if you want to use it, you're free to use it.
It'll probably be half-assed effort and just be stories. But yeah,
just send them to me.
I have a YouTube playlist I'll drop you where I dressed up as a wolf for a kids thing and used a voice like this. Hi guys, I'm the wolf. And it's just infinite videos and they're terrible.
But kids, that's like terrifying for a child.
It was.
A wolf is like not a friendly animal to dress up as.
The guy in charge, it's a church VBS, and the guy in charge was like, you're going to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. And the costume he picked out is just the most terrifying thing. Like, kids were literally crying when it came to, like, we actually started doing the event. Like, they had to leave the room because they were so scared. Let's find where you can see me. So this is my buddy, is his idea.
He's quite a guy. You know, I've really thrown for the loop lately.
Oh my god.
Back in the woods, he thought he had me. I knew right where it was the whole time.
So yeah, that's, you guys have that now.
Thank you. Honestly, I laughed so much tonight. It was a great time.
Always a pleasure. And look at these guys that we just get the view from their penis. There was at one point Scott was holding his phone as if he was trying to pee out of it.
Honk honk.